Heyo! Krisis is still vibing to the song. Nice.
I'm always vibing to the theme song.
We got Freddie holding something up that we can't really see. Is that Powerpuff Girls? Something? There it is.
Yeah.
Freddie, welcome. Krisis, welcome. Thank you, everyone, tuning in for this once a month amazing, action-packed, thought-provoking show that we're calling Jamming on Comics. Jam. Let's jam.
Oh, jam.
Let's jam. Let's see.
And this is the new show where now whenever Jess doesn't like a book, he will take some Smuckers and he will spread it right on that comic book.
Jam on it. I'm not showing that comment by James because I don't want to set one of my guests off immediately.
Oh, I saw you in Earth One, Jess. I already know we're going to talk about it.
Oh, that's right. Arya always first. Rising Phoenix right afterwards. Krisis worried that because I sent him the link, I always create the show early and try and send it as soon as I can because I don't want to forget. So yeah, sometimes I set it up the night before. If I back when I was having my pain and I would just thrash all night, I would set it up the night before, pain-free, so everything's fine. Here's Bunk. What up? Things that made me go, wow, include the lineup on the stream. Oh. That's nicer than the text he just sent me, rubbing it in my face that he got 50% off DoorDash with the book that we're going to show on Crime Corner. Bunk's comment making me blush. Wow, this stream hasn't started and already going great. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Awesome. Infinite Crisis was the wow book for me. Blackest Night was also a pretty good wow book. Just so everybody out there knows that this was an idea from Krisis. And Krisis, in the description box below, I put a link to his amazing website. Initially, it was just a title that was just too long for this episode. And it was, let's see if I can get it right. An introduction to creators that made us go wow. So maybe the first time we saw writing or artwork by this particular creator, we went wow. So I do have a couple candidates for that. Then I also have just a candidate that made me go wow. But it can be any book that made you go wow, I guess. But is that right, Peter? Does that sound like what you were going for?
Well, we were just workshopping. You know, it could go in a lot of different directions. I just was thinking. I mean, we'll get to it. Which we got to read the comments. We got to ramble.
Oh, we have to talk about ice cream, of course.
We got to talk about ice cream. We're gonna recommend music. But I was just thinking about recently reading a comic by an artist I really didn't know previously. Although, you know, sometimes you like read a few issues with that artist that hasn't really clicked. They're like a fill-in or whatever. And then you see that one issue that you're like, where have they been all my life? And then you realize you've read like 5 issues already, but it's that one moment that it clicks. So that was kind of in my head last night. And I thought, oh, well, that would be a fun thing to talk about with the jam friends.
I also had something.
I'm looking for the album there. No, damn it. Okay. I was looking for the album. I forgot ahead of time, but I'll find it. The album that I was going to recommend, but I have multiple albums, so it's okay. So we just want. I do have an agenda of course, ice cream. If Booster's in the chat, we're going to talk about burgers. If NFL Dude's in the chat, we'll talk about burgers. If Halo Tangle's in the chat, we'll talk about her having coffee. Well, I forget where you are, Halo. I don't think you're in the United States. Are you somewhere where it's the morning, or do you just go coffee at 1 a.m. wherever you are? You're so rocking.
If I have coffee, I am up for like 3+ days. I can't even have an 8 ounces of coffee. I used to work in a coffee shop before I realized that I'm genetically sensitive to caffeine. I've discovered.
Wow.
And I would just eat chocolate covered espresso beans and be like doing my coffee. And by the end of the day, I would be moving back and forth so fast. It was like the Flash. Like I was like phasing out in and out of reality. And they'd be like, is something wrong with you? And I'd be like, I don't know what you eat. I'm just operating the cash register. And then I eventually realized that I cannot have caffeine.
Wow. Halo also says, I read Watchmen for the first time in June. That was definitely a wow book for me.
You'll always remember your first with Watchmen.
Yeah, that was a wow book for me also, Halo. Reaper here. Welcome from Down Under. When I was 13ish and read Ultimate's Omnibus, that blew my mind. Read through the Ultimate Universe at least 8 times now, at least 8 times. Now I've grown and I still like it a lot, but Miller doesn't speak to me.
That's fair.
Doesn't speak to you personally or doesn't speak to you as a writer? I'm guessing as a writer.
He doesn't text them back. He doesn't reply on Twitter.
Yeah, Miller doesn't speak to me at all anymore.
Maybe you
For-
blocked him.
V for Vendetta was great too, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Watchmen. Javier's here. Welcome. Doc, welcome. CNSSSS, welcome. Chris, good to see you. Oh, are those goats? Do you consider us goats? That's a nice compliment. Powerpuff Girls, I can't wait to read issue number 2. What were you holding up? Was that a single issue? Oh.
Yeah, I don't buy single issues, Jess. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either, and I have a couple to show.
You sickos.
This is the foil cover. It's by Kelly Thompson, and the artist for this cover is Romero.
Oh, Kelly Thompson's writing Powerpuff Girls?
Only the opening arc, though, right? Then the artist takes over. I feel like somebody else is writing after issue 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she just writes the first couple?
I think so. Because I didn't really pay attention to like issues number 2 to 3, but I saw issue 4 and it's not her.
Halo Tangle and I have talked about this book. This is Mark Brooks, sort of a diner type 50s scene with X-Men. And I just realized let's see, there's well, you can tell who Rogue is right there, and Storm, of course, and there's Lockheed. So there's Jean, she's the redhead. So I'm guessing the top one's a naval gal. I'm guessing that must be wait a sec.
It must be Betsy. It's all purple, right?
Yeah. Oh, and she's Captain Britain.
Mm.
So, but wait, Magic's got blonde hair, so I don't think this is Magic with the rock and cats.
Isn't that Rogue?
Yeah, looks like
I think Rogue is here, I think.
or are they all Rogue?
Kitty?
All Rogue.
Yeah, maybe that's Kitty. And
I don't know.
because that would explain
kind of anonymous
Rocky.
looking. I don't know.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I got it. That one's Betsy. Up there is Kitty, and then that
Oh.
Oh, okay. And then there's Rogue.
yeah.
Okay, so they're sticking their fingers right in my face, not putting Magic and Emma on there. What the hell? Okay, but I'll take these 5. I think it looks boss. And then, of course, I love David Nakayama's art. And after I get this signed by him, I will frame it because I love this one. But I don't collect single issues, right,
No.
Freddie?
I didn't get Spectacular Spider-Man, the most recent issue, and I certainly didn't get the most recent issue of Miles. No, they're not over there. No.
Can we talk for a minute about how much fun Spectacular Spider-Man has been? It might be my favorite Spider book this year.
Talk to me. Why is it so good? Spectacular Spider-Men?
Men.
So who are the men?
The kind
in
that it rains.
It's Peter and Miles.
Weather Girls.
It's by Greg Weisman and Humberto Ramos.
So Greg Weisman, who many people know as the creator of Gargoyles, the cartoon, and he also does comic writing. And I don't know, Freddie, for me, it just captures this very fun, chummy relationship. You kind of forget how much older Peter is than Miles, but they still have a mentor-mentee relationship, but they also feel like friends. Ramos's art, I think, hits the spot on it in a way that I never really did for me on Slot, because I think Weisman is writing a really funny story, and Ramos's art works better. I don't know. You're the one buying it in singles, but I love it.
Yeah, I love
Freddie,
it.
is that what?
I don't have much to say. I haven't read past
What the
issues.
hell are you doing here?
I'll leave.
But
I really
how many issues has this been so far?
And the dynamic between them is something that's been ignored since Miles came, like, to the 616. Like, it's barely been touched. So it's really nice to see them together, and them going like, oh, we should hang out more. Like there's so many spider people. Like why aren't we getting together? And it starts off with them going to coffee shops, and then it starts building up more, and the tension that they've had in other runs also impacts. So it's really good.
And my number one rule for a Spider-Man book, and I do not get pulled into the whole spider drama of like hating whatever the author is or whatever. My number one rule is when he is fighting, is he funny? That's all I care about. He could break up, get married, be in a polygamous relationship. I don't care. As long as he is quipping while he is thwipping. And Weissman writes a hilarious Peter and Miles back and forth. The topics that they roll into as they continue pestering each other while they fight are just hilarious, and that is why I love it.
Quipping while thwipping. I need to.
That's what Spider-Man is. If
Yeah.
there's no quipping, it's not Spider-Man.
That is one thing that I loved from the very first movie with Tobey Maguire. Is that when I think Spider-Man in his outfit drops down outside J. Jonah Jameson's office, and somebody else is in the office, and Spider-Man says, "Hey, Junior, Mom and Dad need to have a talk. Get lost," or something like that. I thought, okay, this is good. This is the quipping while thwipping thing. Now I know exactly what I need that's exactly right. That's what I like about Spider-Man. That and the polygamy. Come for the quips, stay for the polygamy.
Well, Weissman's really good at Spider-Man. He also created or co-created Spectacular Spider-Man for Disney. Well, it wasn't for Disney, but yeah.
At the time, it was for...
Because of Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a Canadian here. Hey, from Ontario. Welcome. Here's our other Canadian friend, True Graphic. How are you? Australia chiming in. What up, Omnibo? This is actually true. Kaiju wrestling. I can explain that in a little bit. Aaron A. Good evening. My name is Aaron. I'm a Krisis patron and predictor of 8 out of the 10 of the most wanted Marvel Omni reprints for 2024.
Whoa.
Wow.
Peace and love, Aaron.
Thank you very much, Aaron. My site in a week is celebrating its 24th anniversary. So there will be some fun things in store next week for all, and especially for patrons.
Oh.
Right. And since you're a patron, you know what you should do? You should join Omnidog Discord. I'm not going to join, but you definitely should, Aaron.
Yeah, I can't get these two to join, but Aaron, you should join my Discord. I'm sure James already has it up in the comments right now. Omnibo working from home so he can watch this live. Now that's a viewer. What up?
I need to hang out with Omnibo. I got to support the Antipodian comic streamers. And I just told him I'm a little bit in the thick of everything right now. But after I get past the site anniversary, hopefully I will be making an appearance in short order on Omnibo's channel.
And here's your fellow Kiwi, Samantha Jane. Good to see you. I think Samantha and I already have a date set up for when we will be talking sometime in October.
I can't wait, but is she actually going to be in New Zealand? Usually she's jetting across the globe.
Yeah, I think she'll be at home for one day, and that's the day I picked for my show, and then she's off to Greece or wherever she's going to go.
Well, I will be sure to heckle that show. Absolutely. I mean, watch.
Heckle that show. Dan Morris art always makes me go, wow. That is going to help inform a comment that I'm going to make. I agree with Halo Tangle. What does he get? Pete privileges? He can call you Pete? I've never heard.
I know, is he from South Philly? I don't know. We're gonna have to talk about that, Omnibo. I don't know if it works in Australian.
I've never heard anybody call you Pete.
I have to hear how you order your cheesesteak before you can call me Pete.
Omnibo, I always put in a good word for you. I'm happy to talk about your channel. It'll be easier to get morning wise to get Pete on it because you guys are
not.
I thought so.
So Jess, how do you order your cheesesteak?
How do I order mine? Okay.
Yeah.
I like it with I like cherry peppers on it. I'm fine if there's cheese whiz on it, but I'm also fine with like provolone. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else goes on it. Cheese, steak. I gotta have the cherry peppers. I like provolone, cheddar, or cheese whiz. It's all good. Gosh, I don't like to mess with it too much. I guess.
And that's the key. As a Philadelphian, like at a point, it turns into a hoagie, and that's fine. I love hoagies, but at the point you start putting like lettuce and tomatoes, that's not a cheesesteak. A cheesesteak to me and to many, I think, Philadelphians is the long roll. It's the meat. It's some kind of cheese. And it's maybe one like spice element, right? Like raw or cooked onions, like cherry peppers, banana peppers, something. That's it. Cheese, meat, spice, roll. And then, salt, pepper, ketchup if you swing that way. But as soon as people start really putting all that other stuff on, I'm like, that's a cheesesteak hoagie. We're talking about like a different thing, which is fine. I don't discriminate, but let's not get it twisted.
But okay, so I ordered it actually fine then. I just
That's
like
pretty much how I order mine. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've talked to you on the air since I think I told you in a Facebook chat that I went to Denick's for the pork sandwich.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. I mean, I haven't had any for 7+ years, but I know that the reputation.
Yeah. Hawks Pox made me go super wow.
It did.
I was a fairly tepid fan until I read Gotham Central, which was my wow comic and hooked me for life. Nice.
I'm sure I've told this story before, Aaron, but when I got back to reading comics like really seriously in 2017, one of the first long runs I read was Gotham Central, and I thought I was just going to read an issue or two, like, oh, what's this cop thing? I sat in my bed and I read 40 issues straight. I don't think I got up for like a bathroom break. I was so addicted to it.
Wow.
And so that always kind of like set the tone for me in terms of what comics can be, like how good and how surprising they can be once I kind of came back to like voraciously reading. Which I've been reading all along since 2010, but 2017 is when I really started my like 3,000-4,000 comics a year kind of reading habit.
Wow. James says the artwork inside Somna by Becky Cloonan and Tula Lote made me go wow. I think I have that book here. I haven't filed it yet. Let's see. Where are you, Somna? Somna? There it is. I know that I know it's a little bit okay, I can't show that. It's a little spicy, but this looks okay. Yeah, Tula Lote's art's really good.
Well, Tula Lote at some point did Bombshells, right? Is that how you know them?
Sorry?
Am I making that up? Tula Lote, you know their art from something else, right? Like you were already a fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when I saw her at Heroes Con, I had her sign a book, and she did a Harley Quinn, one of those blank covers. She did a Harley Quinn drawing for me overnight. She took it back to her hotel room. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, this looks pretty.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was the book I had her sign? And she's like, okay, I definitely can't show that. There's a lot of cool art in this, but I can't show.
You know what did make Just go wow? I sent him a shirt that was on pre-order from Somna. He was like, I haven't read that. I can't buy that. I was like, it's Tula Lote. You have to.
Did I buy it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. The art in Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum made me go, wow. True Graphic. Oh, here's Mallory. Good to see you, Mallory. I haven't talked to you in forever. Hi, everyone. Nothing better than virtually hanging out with folks that feel like friends. Nice. Good to see you, Mallory. I have a list from Chris. I have a list of like 13 creator books that are a wow for me. Okay.
See, and they were making fun of me because I said I was working on a list. They're like, oh, you're being an overachiever.
What? I would never do that in a chat. I save that for the stream.
Yeah, that's true. Once Freddie and I start making fun of each other in the chat, just steps in like a nun with a ruler. And he's like, no, save it for the live. No mocking backstage.
Don't mock in the green room. That's no good. And here's Jake, who helped out. Thank you, Jake, my intern, who did the thumbnail for this. Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, he did a great thumbnail. I'm having him do more thumbnails. He's adding music to my overviews this week.
Oh,
I've got him busy. He's earning his pay,
getting
which is
fancy.
nothing.
I was gonna say, is he paid in the underground track of singles that you have to move out of the house before upper management notices?
That's a good point. Rami, welcome. Doug, Great Caesar's Ghost. I forgot I left out the ice cream. I'll need go rescue that ice cream. And Chris, feel free to list the 13 books that are creators' books that are wow. I'm on the East Coast. It's 8 p.m. here. Caffeine has no effect on me, so I can drink coffee all day long. Wow, you're like the antimatter version of Peter. You guys are complete opposites. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a definite wow book for me, as is Harleen and Long Halloween.
Oh, so good.
Nice.
I reread that recently.
Doc Elevator, I thought Eddie Barrows was an okay artist, but his art in the Tinian Detective run was so good, I had to double check that it was the same guy. Nice. Omnidoggy Daddy and Augie Omnidoggies. I remember that cartoon well. Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy. Oh my God, Harleen blew me away. That is our own Peter M. Justice League Dark Rebirth Omnibus is another wow read for me.
I cannot say enough about how much I like that book. What do you think of it so far, Jess?
I love it. And it had been intimidating me because it's so big. And then Kane, I finally started it. Whoa, nice. Zinger. Then Kane last night said a book is started one page at a time. And I'm like, you're right. And I read like 230 pages yesterday and I'm all in. I love it so far. So I haven't even, I'm not even a third of the way through it, but I love it. Eric, for me, a recent read that made me go, wow, was Wonder Woman Historia.
That was beautiful.
Oh,
spoiler alert. Uh-oh. Spoiler alert.
Wait, is that a hardcover or a single?
Yeah,
this is hardcover.
Oh, there's an alternate cover?
Yes,
yeah. And it has
why didn't I get that one?
No, I like that one better, the regular one.
You like this one better?
This one has covered a dust jacket that pulls out into
oh wow, I'm super jealous. I just have the normal one.
Well, the content is still great. But
yes. Only a cover. It's only a cover.
Saito09. Hi guys, remember McFarlane's work on Spawn blowing me away as a kid. More recently, LaDroit's art on Requiem Vampire Knight. Think maybe I just have a thing for capes and chains. You're in the right place. Logan, hey fellas, gonna have to catch the replay, but reading both Miller's and Brubaker's DD runs in full for the first time a few months ago definitely made me say, wow, both were phenomenal. This is a great topic you came up with, Peter. A lot of people into this.
How are we going to beat it next time? We'll need the Discord to help us think up what the question will be for next time.
They will be up to the task, I feel.
Sure.
Have you not read Historia yet? It looks like
I haven't. No. So I was saying in the chat that I took a couple years off from DC because I thought it was just kind of sucking, so I wasn't pulling anything, and I missed it. I mean, clearly, I love Kelly Sue DeConnick. So when I decided I was going to dip my toe back in, I was like, you know what? If there's anything I need a hardcover of, sight unseen, it should be that, because I have a whole Wonder Woman collection. But then I haven't even read it yet because I read so much digital that I'm like, I'm gonna read that hardcover. I'm gonna like put it on my nightstand and read it. But I read 99% digital.
Yeah, it's hard when you read as much, well, especially as much as you do. And then there's another book and you're thinking, oh, I got to get to that. And I just finally had to set aside a chunk for Justice League Dark Rebirth and say, now's the time.
And, you know, that was a wow book for me, Justice League Dark Rebirth. I mean, I already know Tinian's writing, but Alvaro Martinez Bueno's art, I'm sure I'd read him on other things before, but just certain artists just have a certain depth and do such great facial acting on their characters. And I just get lost in the pages and I kind of even forget that I'm reading sometimes. And he is one of those artists for me. And he did so many issues of that run and then jumped right to doing Nice House on the Lake with Tinian. And I just think he's in a very rarefied air of the best of the sequential artists working at Marvel and DC right now. I would put him alongside Pepe Larraz. I just think he's that amazing.
High praise. Maybe I should go get that book since we're talking about it so much. I just grabbed like every album I've played in the last 2 weeks and I said, I'll find it in there somewhere, whatever I'm going to recommend. Pixie Strikes Back blew me away back in the day. The character designs, NFL dude, welcome. And if the character designs for teen girls felt so real for that late aughts MySpace era. Sarah Pichelli's first work for Marvel. Krisis, you should read Historia.
It's true.
It's a good one, NFL dude. It's Raining Men. Department of Truth is another wow read for me. Yeah, that's a good point, True Graphic. That has definitely wowed me. Oh, I got my gift certificate today, Jake. I'm having dinner brought to me by Booster Green. We had a show. Let's see, Jake. We were on Illuminurdi's channel, I think. Jake and I were, and talking about the DC solicits a couple weeks ago. And Booster Green was in there saying, if they make Red Lanterns an omnibus, I'll buy each of you a burger. Next day, Red Lanterns omnibus drops, and Booster Green has been nice enough to send us dosh for burgers. So we're eating good, I guess, as they say, and not properly, but Ms. Quamaral, I'm reading Eve of Destruction Omni. There's an annual issue with Professor X and a blinded mutant that blew my mind away. Was not expecting that kind of story in a 90s-ish X-Men story.
Oh, well, speaking of 90s comics, those Milestone compendiums, they also blew me away. There's a series by Ivan Velez Jr., and it has the most ridiculous title. Yeah, it has the most ridiculous title, but for me, it's the best of all those series, and it involves gay and trans characters, and you think, oh, they're going to butcher that in the 90s. No, it is so ahead of its time.
What book was this?
I am having memory problems.
Did Peter just show it?
Yeah, he showed the Milestone Compendium.
Oh, the Milestone Compendium. Okay. This is back when we saw Freddie's doggy. That's so cute.
Yeah, I've been
this is when Spidey's... Sorry?
That I've been sleeping all day, so he's hearing my voice and he won't leave me alone.
Well, that's so cute. I wish I had a doggy right now.
Blood Ticket. That's the book.
Question Crisis, I agree with you. He needs to be yapping during his fights. Okay, so that's back when we were quippy with Thwippy. My mean beef or my main beef? Either one, it worked. With Spencer Runwas and Spidey just wasn't funny. Oh, and then he corrects himself. Okay.
Yeah. Also, chat, help me out. Was Spencer Volume 2 Omnibus the one that had a misprint? And how bad was it if it was that book? Because I still haven't bought it.
This is Spencer's?
Spencer Volume 2, yeah.
I haven't bought it yet either.
Yeah, I need to get it so I can read Beyond.
You don't. Just read Beyond.
I don't get it.
I do have Beyond.
Beyond is a really delightful read. It's not 100% hit rate, but it's just a fun Spidey book. Like after, I just didn't laugh very much at Spencer. And Beyond, I like when Spidey is rotating writers. I think one of the problems we're having right now is that these like single writer, like 50 issue runs or maybe just aren't working that well. And Beyond kind of took it back to the initial big time arrangement where it was a room. And I feel like with everybody getting in and getting out, it was all pretty snappy. It was Jed McKay, Kelly Thompson, Cody Ziegler. There are a couple other people in the mix, and I just found it really fun and readable. And then if there's something I didn't like, it was over in 2 issues, you know?
do I need to read anything to prepare for Spider-Man Beyond? I think
No.
Freddie, I can just read it by itself.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a direct continuation from Spencer's run, but you don't actually have to read it. It's what I'm told.
Yeah,
Okay.
it starts with its own precipitating event. It's not predicated on everything that it has characters and concepts from Spencer's run, but it doesn't like continue like directly from a cliffhanger at the end of Spencer's run.
Oh, that scene was during a fight with Goblin, Jess. He webbed JJJ's mouth. Oh, it was okay. That was one of the highlights of the movie. I haven't seen that movie since it came out, but it was an outstanding scene. And here's my Discord. We have fun there. Peace and love. We have a very active I don't see Bob's in here, but she rescued a barn kitty and it was abandoned by its mom in their barn. So they're hand feeding it, raising it, and we're watching its growth in real time on my Discord. As if that's
that
not
alone
enough.
is worth the Discord subscription.
Right. And then there's a food and ice cream channel. That's my favorite one. So there's all kinds of fun. We talk about comics too, but boring. So does everybody. I'd rather talk about cats, dogs, and ice cream. Feel like you guys have just started and you've already had 2 ads. That's weird. I set it for very conservative. I'm so sorry, Samantha. I set it for the lowest amount of ads. I don't have control over that. I apologize. Greetings from the West Coast from the Chris. Had a great haul today, finding all 6 Preacher trade paperbacks as Ollie's for $30 total.
Whoa, that is a haul.
Y'all going live is the cherry on top today. Cheers. You. We're the cherry on top. That's nice.
It's a good fruit to be.
Okay, dude. Marcelo, hey. No, I didn't. I promise I put it to conservative. I don't even like having ads.
Yeah, live is weird. Like you can get a whole bunch, or you can see like one the whole 3 hours.
Oh yeah. Now people are chiming in with. Okay, it's okay, Omnibo. You got away with it once. That's more than I got away with it. I said it, and he called me out immediately.
Can we go back to ads for a second? Because I'm on a diatribe this week about ads. So I don't really consume a lot of media that has ads, right? I read digital comics, no ads. I haven't watched broadcast TV in literally 20 years. I quit in 2004, so I haven't seen a TV commercial all that time. Then I've always had like ad blocking in my browsers. So and I haven't had physical magazines probably since like 2013. So I truly, unless I see a billboard on the highway, I don't listen to the radio. I've so much music. I don't experience advertisements, but that's kind of what my degree is in. And it's a lot of what I do for work. So I'm very savvy about advertisements, but I also have gotten used to this world where I'm in this bubble where I always just get to choose things and I never have to like be inundated with any advertisements. But as Chrome has been eroding the ability of ad blocks to work, especially in the new releases of Chromium, and now YouTube has ads, no matter what device you're watching it on. And now, in the house of one of the other people in the house is playing Spotify, I hear the Spotify ads. I find that I'm like hearing ads again for the first time in 20 years. And I'm stunned by how used to I've gotten to not being exposed to certain things, whether that's like a certain kind of product. Like it's definitely weird to me to hear a beer ad as somebody who's been sober for a really long time and like is not exposed to any kind of alcohol culture at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also just ads with like certain topics, like ads that are like really like gender essentialist, like women cleaning and the men with his like feet kicked up on the couch. Like I would never willingly let that enter my brain or eyes or ears. And it's just like advertising. You have no say. And if there's an advertisement that's like offensive to you in some way, and because of the way it depicts alcohol or gender or race relations or comic books or whatever, you can't opt out of that, man. Your eyeballs have already been bought and paid for. And it's just wild. Like I know everybody knows this, but I've been abstaining for so long that it's just like a splash of cold water to the face to me that I can't like get away from these ads.
No, the most you can do is like report the ad and say you don't like it, but it really doesn't stop you from seeing more ads exactly like it later on. And even when you're paying for no ads in subscription services, they show you ads for movies. They show you ads for TV shows that they make, and it does have a skip button, but it starts anyway. Like you're forced to see even a few seconds of
Or
the
I'm
ad.
just offended by the bad music cue in the ad. There's this one ad that comes up on YouTube all the time. It's for a product I actually like. The music is so bad, and I have to hear the first 5 seconds of it over and over, and I think it's killing my brain cells slowly.
Oh, and the other thing is podcasts. Like, I listen to Rachel Maddow's Ultra, and you can't escape the ads even if you don't have like ads on Spotify or whatever you used to listen to podcasts, because there are ads in the program itself.
Speaking of ads, if you want to get your books at a discount, go to Organic Price Books and use code Omnidog for $2 off. Big savings with 5% off shipping 4 or more books together with code OmnidogSit. There we go. See, now that was a short one. I kept that one short, but I know what you're saying. Peter knows what's up for us Philly and suburbs people about cheesesteaks. It is the most beautiful hair on YouTube. That has to be Peter. I think. No, Max, this is not how you would order your cheesesteak.
Well, with his accent, they'll probably let him get away with it.
No, not.
Yeah,
I mean, they might like tap a sign of some kind to be like, this is the instruction for people who don't know. What is it?
Yeah.
Pat's or Gino's that's like, you must order in English because they're a bunch of racists.
Well, and Max's English is better than mine, so
Yeah.
I don't.
It's great. It's great.
The Boy Who Collected Spider-Man, Starman, those Visits with David stories, and Murder Falcon wowed me.
On my shelf somewhere.
I stopped reading hero comics when Heroic Age was happening and rumors of the New 52 were spinning. I saw art for the last arc of Uncanny X-Force on a best comics list that year, and it pulled me back in. What a good book to get pulled in by. I will gently ask this. What are your thoughts on Rocky? I'm sort of afraid of what your reaction might be.
It's very quintessentially Philadelphia. You know, it captures if you read the story of like how he developed the script and wanted to have the movie made, it's a Philadelphia that was my parents' Philadelphia. It's very real. All of the locations are places that I know, and I remember them still looking like that in the 80s. Like when he runs through the Italian market, even by the 90s and the 2000s, and I used to live 2 blocks from there, it didn't look like that anymore. So to me, Rocky, I don't even really engage with the plot of it too much. I'm not a big sports movie person, but it's just so nostalgic because that's my Philadelphia that I have my first memories of, you know.
Nice. Okay. The Chris, Why the Last Man made me go, wow. First non-superhero book I ever read and made me a fan of the medium instead of just Superman, Batman, and Green Lantern. Oh, Injustice got me really into comics. That is something that Marcelo has permission to constantly bug me about it because I've got to read Tom Taylor's and Brian Buccoletto's Injustice. I'm stuck in with this behemoth right now. This is how
big.
far I am.
Look how big it is.
Yeah.
It's huge.
But I'm enjoying every bit of it, and so it's a treat that I've got that much. And then Rom V's section, I remember that was awesome too. So I've got Tiny Onion and Rom V writing Magic Wonder Woman and stuff. This is okay with me.
So cool.
Yeah. So I'm quite pleased that I started this book. Where are we sending people for good cheesesteaks in 2024? I think that we were going to go to Jim's when I was up with our Philly friends, but that
was right after it burnt down. Still, was it open again yet?
I think it had just opened. Yeah, they told me about that. I didn't think I could just eat a giant cheesesteak at that time. I'm eating so little bread right now, but I mean, I ate bread with my pork sandwich at Nick's, but So I skipped it, but they told me that their favorite was Jim's, and obviously they told me to avoid Pat and Gino's. And this is a great point. I want a shirt that says "Can't show that" Omnidog. Yeah,
Can't show that. Can't show that.
yeah. Lars is here. 2 of the series made me go wow was Nemesis the Warlock and Martial Law, both by Pat Mills and Kevin O'Neill. Omnibo, my WoW comics, Day Tripper, The Goon, Gideon Falls, Mouse, and for the art, Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
The art in that was amazing.
Yeah, that's Taboo, isn't it?
I want to say it's the guy that draws all like the creepy tendrils and strands, and he just did the Venom tie-ins for Blood Hunt. His name is not coming to me. I talk to him on Twitter sometimes, but I'm drawing blank.
Oh, Chris says D'Alessandro's steaks and Chubby's steaks are the best right now. Okay, wait.
I was going to say D'Alessandro's is usually a pretty solid bet, even for me not having been there for a while.
Okay, I will save that to my desktop. I just took a screenshot of it. Thank you, Chris.
The artist.
Larry's here. What up, Larry? One of my earliest WoW comics was Guess What Just Came Down the Chimney? Uncanny 143. Kitty alone with that in the mansion with that Nagare demon.
That's a good one. The artist for Deadly Neighborhood was Juan Ferreira.
That's who I'm thinking about.
There we go.
I read Grayson this week after Krisis sold me on it on the Evergreen stream. Look at your influence, Krisis. You influenced that young man to pick up Grayson and read it.
I know he's very impressionable, so I have to really take my job seriously.
Nice. Hey, wonderful people, says John George Peppers. Has anyone that read the Distillery one shot that has a prequel to Somna? It's not included in the collected edition. Oh, yeah, that was kind of the weird thing with Somna. They had a couple versions of this, and then they had a really expensive signed version that included stories that weren't in this one for us peasants. I wasn't going to spend $2 on a signed comic. I'm happy to take this up to both of these women at a con and have them sign it, and I'll have them tell me the story. I'm not going to pay extra dosh for a little story, but I haven't read that, John. Did you like it, Brave and the Boys? I'm sure we will see. Exactly, Peter. I ended up reading Gotham Central, Infinite Crisis, and then 52 all in succession. What an amazing period for DC's in the mid-2000s. Yeah. Infinite Crisis followed up by 52. Infinite Crisis, I need to reread that. That was my favorite, and then I really loved 52.
Yeah, I read 52. I really liked it.
Sexy. Hearing Peter talk about X-Men makes me go, wow. Daniel, welcome. God Loves Man Kills was my wow. Trigger knows is my buddy from New York City, Paul, and he loves Paul Jenkins' sidekicks. Makes me go, wow. You definitely got me to read that, Trig. It's good to see you in the chat. One of my oldest friends from the online community. Braven Boys loved it. The best part was the girls nicknamed each one of Grayson's butt cheeks. Well, I can't keep up with you, Peter. You're talking to us as much as you're talking to the chat.
I type faster than Omnidog can pull up chat.
Yeah, that's totally true. Samantha, the last book that wowed me. Oh, she likes Junkyard Joe and Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, by Daniel Warren Johnson.
That was incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I really loved Geiger, and so I'm in for that universe, Samantha. I want to get the Junkyard Joe Deluxe when it comes out. Age of Apocalypse made me go, wow, I love it. To Astonishing X-Men made me go, there's Age of Apocalypse.
I just started it with Kid Crisis this morning. We've been building up to this point for 6 years. First, wow. She was, there's key points you want to get to in the X-Men read, and we've read every single issue except for issues that I deemed too mature for her, which now are fine. And so we've read everything: Wolverine, New Mutants, Excalibur, every single X-Men issue from Giant Size to present. And so there's big points I was so excited to hit, right? Like the first issue of Jim Lee art, the debut of X-Men in 1991 with Lee and Claremont. She was really excited for Generation X because she likes younger characters in school, of course. And so this morning, before she went to school, we read X-Men Alpha, the first issue of Age of Apocalypse. And I should have had a camera on her face to watch her react to all of the characters. I think the biggest, oh, wow, was Dark Beast, followed by Havoc and Scott both being on the bad guy side. And she's like, they're all bad. And then Sinister walks in and she's like, and they're with Mr. Sinister. And it was, I should have, it's one of those moments that you can't replicate. Like I did video her reacting to finding out that Darth Vader was, spoilers, Luke's dad. So I do have that on video, but I missed my chance this morning.
You are doing it right. That is the one thing I always regret. And junior management apologized to me last week, and I said, "You don't owe me an apology. You're a football nerd. You're a video game nerd. You're all other kinds of nerd. It's okay that you're not a comic book nerd. I'm sorry it didn't stick with you. I did try, but yeah, that is. I love that you have that relationship with Kid Krisis. That's so great."
And also, I try to do Mr. I do voices for all of them, and some of them are just very white bread. Like Scott is like, come on, Gene, is it okay? Are you gonna lit? Like he's very kind of like sincere. I try to do Mr. Sinister as Tim Curry doing Dr. Frankenfurter because I just feel like that's appropriate. Of course, she doesn't know because she hasn't watched Rocky Horror yet. That's also funny enough the same way that I voiced the Cat in the Hat. So to her, I'm doing the Cat in the Hat voice. So maybe I can do a dramatic Tim Curry reading of the Cat.
That would be awesome. Oh, you're going to do it for us? That'd be great.
For us.
I just read this Halo Tangle, and you're right. I know, Peter, you must have already read this Dracula. You love Dracula so much.
I have it in hardcover. Dracula is one of those things that I'm a total SULT for SUSL. I can't spell slut. I'm a slut for it. And I will buy anything Dracula. It's not hard. So, I mean, the book is hard. Cover.
Have you?
But yeah, Cat in the Hat. I'll read like, can I do that? I don't know if I can just do it. The sun did not shine. It was too wet to play. So we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. Something like that.
That's amazing. Maybe if I had done that, my daughter would be into comic books.
That is exactly how Sinister sounds in Hellions. I'll accept.
Yeah, so that's how I've been doing the Sinister voice for the past, what was his first issue, like 213 or 14 when he cameos. That's how she's been hearing Sinister.
Have you read Tiny Onion's Dracula, Peter?
No, it's just when I buy things in physical format, it takes like years. If I just pulled it digitally, I would have read it already.
Yeah, I'm with Halo Tangle. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if Image does pull a deluxe of the Universal monsters, like all of them together.
Okay, so you're waiting that out.
I'm waiting it out. They'll probably beat me and not do it, but
I get that. I wanted it. I had heard so much good from the chat about it that I read it immediately, and now I've got to figure out how to work it into October because it's a perfect October book.
Yeah, and the other ones that's coming out are Frankenstein and Creature of the Black Lagoon, I think.
Yeah, do you know the writers for those?
I'll look them up. I was really interested in Creature.
Doc says, I think the Grayson series is the first time Dick got A-tier creators on his book. We've been in the golden age of Nightwing ever since. Ever since? Not you,
Ever
Rick
seen.
Grayson art.
A golden age, never seen. Ever seen. Okay.
Ever seen. Okay.
Yeah.
Not you, Rick Grayson art.
It's like the 3 dragon heads and the one is kooky. That's like, not you, Rick Grayson.
Creature has Dan Waters, Ram V, Matthew Roberts, Dave Stewart.
Ram V's writing what? Ram V's
Creature.
writing Creature.
With Dan Waters.
Oh, with Dan Waters. Okay.
Love Dan Waters. Wait, go back to that last Uncanny. Now people are starting to name some of the things I have picked as my WoW books. So my first WoW that I actually noted that I wanted to talk about was Uncanny X-Force. So it's 2010. I just gotten back to reading X-Men regularly, digitally, and no, not digitally, actually, because Marvel Unlimited was sucked then. It was all in physical comics. So Uncanny X-Force was like the first book that I got the trade the day that it came out, I think. And of course, the writing is great. The cast is great. I had never seen colors done like Dean White's colors in the first few issues of Uncanny X-Force, because Dean White highlights with white. So he like does everything, and instead of letting just like white show through or doing like reflections, which I don't like, he uses white as a highlight color and like an overtone in the other color. And I just remember being like, what is this sorcery? Like nobody was doing that at that time. And it wasn't this very glossy house color that Marvel was doing in the late 2010 or 2000s, early 2010s. It was Dean White's colors are very textured. And of course it's on top of Jerome Opeña's art, which is very, very textured. And I hadn't seen anything like it. And I recently reread it for our last stream on Very Fine Condition and for the Deadpool stream. And I was thinking, oh, it's not going to be as good. You know, when you go back to some stuff and you're like, it can't be as good as I remember. No, I still had that same like dumbfounded reaction of how is it that he's the only one in the industry? Nobody else, not even Matt Wilson, colors the way that Dean White colors. And I just think I just had this moment of like seeing something in a comic I'd never seen in my life when I first read the first 4 or 5 issues of Uncanny X-Force. So in terms of, I was trying to think of what colorist has had that effect on me, and it was Dean White in Uncanny X-Force.
Well, since we're in it, this one, Ryan Bragg, not my nephew, but named similarly to my nephew.
Suspicious, little suspicious.
Black Cat Omni, Wonder Woman by Gail Simone, and Harleen are great reads. This is my book that made me go, wow, because of the writing. The art was fantastic, but this was the first thing I had ever read by Jed MacKay that I remember. I put out 2 videos on this book. One was the trade saying why you should buy the Omni when it comes out. And the second one was now buy this Omni now that it's out. I was really pushing this book because wow, this art is so great throughout the book. But the way he writes Black Cat, who is, I don't know, B-list? I don't even...
Probably lower.
I don't know that I'd really read much Black Cat before this, but he wrote her so well, and everything was so interesting, and there were so many twists and turns, and she was, as they say, she was playing 4D chess as the rest of everybody was playing checkers. She always had something up her sleeve that she was constantly thinking ahead about, which made it fantastic. The main goal in the first 3/4 of the book has to do with like an ultimate theft and what she has to go through to get to that theft. I thought it was so imaginative, and it was steeped in Marvel lore, which I thought, but not so deep that you couldn't figure it out. He did a good job of informing throughout the book. She involves Iron Man in getting a suit of his because it will lead to another theft, and I just can't say enough about this book. This was one of my books of the year when it came out, and I may reread it again so I can make it this year's book of the year. I don't know. I just love this book. And this is, I think this must have been like what Marvel looked at for sales and how well it was written, because now Jed MacKay's...
He's their everything guy.
Yeah. I think he's the first. I think Dom of X told me that he's the first guy since Stan Lee to be doing Avengers and X-Men.
Yeah.
He's doing Doctor Strange and Moon Knight.
Although they seem to both be wrapping up. Although
Yeah.
I don't know, has he been solicited for the next Moon Knight run yet? I haven't seen.
I haven't seen that. I've just picked up the latest trades for Moon Knight and Doctor Strange. But I guess if maybe it was all an audition for Avengers and X-Men. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than writing Avengers and X-Men unless you're also writing JLA at the same time. Here's something I'll say about him on Black Cat that I think is true in his Moon Knight not as true in his other books. I like an author who can like zing out quick, easy to read issues that feel one-shotty or two-shotty, but then as you read the whole run, you realize it's kind of like snowballing and picking up little plot elements as you go. I love like a Hickman style run that's long and everything's important, but sometimes it just makes me so tired. Sometimes I only want to read 2 or 3 issues and like just be like, that was fun. I don't have to remember something from 20 issues ago, but then it gets to the end and it kind of pays off. And I think McKay is really, really good at that, where you don't really see him see the puppet strings moving while he's doing it. And you're like, oh, this is just fun. And then he gets to like the crescendo, the climax, the finale. And you're like, oh, it all mattered. All of those little stories like really, really mattered. And I think that Black Cat run shows how good he is at that. And then I think his Moon Knight run is exactly the same in that respect.
Right. I agree with that. And the art stays strong throughout the book, which is good because sometimes you could get a fill-in artist that kind of can disrupt the flow, but the art stays solid throughout the run.
Well, and it's like Lara's Travel Foreman, like who else? It's all really good artists.
Yeah. Perez, Travel Foreman, Perez, CF Villa. Let me see. Did you say Pepe Larraz?
I think maybe just the covers are Lara's.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
I love Travel Foreman. Love. I F with Travel Foreman on anything. Stars the Dragon. He did an Incredible Hulk issue. One of my Animal Man by Jeff Lemire.
Yeah. So this made me say, wow. Yeah. This is the first time I had read him and I was just head over heels in love with his writing. So this was the first book that made me say, wow, about being introduced to a creator.
Before that, I read his Man Without Fear miniseries. It was pretty good, but then you read Black Cat, and it's like, wow.
Wow.
Max did say that his Doctor Strange wrapped up, and he solicited for a Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu #1, which I don't know if it's a new series or a one-shot. It looks like a one-shot.
Okay. Peter, it sounds like you need to do that Wonder Woman podcast you've been talking about.
Oh, with infinite time, we could have infinite Krisis. But alas, it is not a reality.
Oh, okay. Chris is going to tell us his the top 20 WoW books. First 5, Bendis Alias and Scarlet, Terry Moore Motor Girl, Brian K. Vaughan Saga, Brian Lee O'Malley, Scott Pilgrim, Ryan North, Squirrel Girl.
Love Squirrel Girl.
The Chris says Star Wars Legends, The Empire Volume 1 also made me go, wow. If you love the Vader scene at the end of Rogue One or Andor, that is that on steroids. That time period is so good for grimdark storytelling. I haven't seen Andor. And of course I hate myself for it.
Oh my gosh. I'm not a Star Wars apologist. Like I will come right out and say a Star Wars thing sucked. Andor is so head and shoulders above every other Star Wars thing ever. I
vow to Freddie that I am watching the spreadsheet of cartoons to get me ready for Ahsoka before the end of the year. And I also promised Lars that I'm following your spreadsheet for Doctor Who so I can have him on in November and talk at least a little bit of Doctor Who, since that's all Lars really, knows about. He doesn't know
Freddie,
about
you don't send me spreadsheets, and spreadsheets are my love language.
I've been surprisingly busy this past 3 months where, it's been 70-hour work weeks at least.
I know that well.
Yeah, and these are spreadsheets that he's distilled them down to the very essence of what I need to see. And I respect the craft that went into them. So don't think that I'm blowing them off because I don't respect, the effort you put into it. I'm definitely going to be watching those.
Yeah, Ahsoka's still my #1 Star Wars.
Wait, what's your #1?
Ahsoka.
Oh, I haven't watched Ahsoka yet. So.
Oh, Ahsoka's so good, especially if you go through like all her journey, like how everything just comes like to, I won't say conclusion because there's more coming, but wow, like how it all adds together. I haven't finished Acolyte because I've been so busy, and it's already canceled, and I'm sad because I was really digging it. Yeah, I really liked Andor, but I don't know the whole like I get why people are so hyped up about the speeches and the monologues, but I work in film, so a monologue for me is the most boring thing that can happen. So when
Maybe
they
you
say, "Oh,
need to send
Andor,"
Crisis your spreadsheet on Ahsoka.
yeah, I can send them that.
I kind of just mosey along with Star Wars stuff. Like I do truly love Star Wars, but sometimes I just don't want to be in the discourse at the same moment that it's happening. So I kind of like let the discourse wash over. So I watched Andor probably like 5-6 months after the discourse, and I was blown away. And I liked Boba Fett. I love the
I
Boba
did
Fett show.
too.
I was really
Yeah, it's
entertained by it.
fun.
But I like missed the discourse, and then I like go back on Reddit or Facebook or Twitter or whatever to look, and I'm like, oh, everybody hated this.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
know.
sure so I'll watch the Acolyte, like, sorry that I'm not contributing to your single month viewership, DC or Disney, that helps you not cancel things like the Acolyte. Sorry, you're so short-sighted that you've canceled it before I can even watch it.
This is why I think I'm sort of blessed that I don't go to any social media, so I don't I didn't know that people didn't like Boba Fett. I dug it because how can you not love Ming Na as Fennec Shand? I mean, she never misses. She's a total badass. And I didn't well, I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't seen it, but yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I'm hoping for. But I still haven't seen Mandalorian season 3. Oh my
Oh my
gosh!
gosh, there's in season 3. I'm behind. There's too much.
Yeah,
There's too much. And let's not
Well-
even talk about how there's Star Trek shows that I don't even know existed at this point. This used to be much easier. Now we need
Yeah.
spreadsheets. Yeah, I haven't even watched the new season of Doctor Who yet. I was supposed to watch it with my Aussie buddy Felix, and I'm like so behind that I haven't even gotten past the holiday specials.
Peter, you're gonna really like it. It's so good.
Well, I love him from Sex Education, so I'm sure I'm going to be. And Jinx Monsoon is on it. I'm sure I'm going to be very delighted.
It's back to that wholesome yet with a message type vibe. It's so good, and there's the Stephen Moffat episode was so good too. Yeah.
And this
But
is
the
sorry.
spreadsheet-
Go ahead.
The spreadsheet that I sent Jess was all the River Song episodes because he told me that all he wanted to see was Alex Kingston, and I was like, okay.
But I also want to see that Blink episode made me realize what I had been missing. I mean, because that was a boss episode.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be. I know I sort of tongue in cheek, but sort of not tongue in cheek. I wanted to see what my favorite actresses were up to, but I'm also totally in on seeing all the Doctor Who episodes that you think are great. So it doesn't have to be just Alex Kingston.
I'll put all the Stephen Moffat episodes then.
Okay, that's fine. And this is a callback to last night when Gio put up. I was unaware of the Trololo ha 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 guy. We got demonetized for that because I was.
What did you get demonetized for?
I was not familiar with this YouTube living meme of this guy singing the Trololo ha 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 ha. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No,
I do.
Freddie
don't get demonetized again.
I won't. He showed the video. I'll try and find the link and send it to you because it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's some Russian guy singing just that, and he's just singing Trolololo ha 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 ha, and he's moving around, and he's got kind of robotic features almost, but it's not ironic at all. It's like him singing what he really loved, and he became like a living meme. He passed away in 2012, but he approved the fact he loved the fact that people were leaning into it and having fun with it. So I don't know how to explain it, but it's really trippy. But that CNS says I was singing that song all day today too, and last night. Just read an issue of 60 Spider-Man. Lee's jealousy of Ditko in the letters pages is definitely very wow. Forgerelli's here. Haven't seen you in a long time, Forgerelli. Just chiming in to say how awesome the Crushing Crisis reading orders are. Easily the best out there. Right.
And it's been, so if it's been 24 years that my site has been around, it has now been it'll be the 14th anniversary of the reading orders debuting back in 2010, which is, it's just wild. I had this crazy thought, as I often get, like, oh, I should just update everyone to like status for the anniversary. So I like fired up my spreadsheet, Freddie, to be like, what, maybe just Marvel. Maybe there are 150 Marvel character team and title guides on Crushing Crisis. And I seem to think that I'm going to get them all updated by next week. We'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Hot take? Go ahead.
That I said just was the Krakoa era books. Wow. I also had to use yours for reference because I was making them mostly based on paperbacks.
Yeah. People keep asking me if I'm going to do an issue by issue, and I'm like, I just think it reads so well in chunks at the time, and it's so rare that one thing spoils another that I think if you just move through it in the paperbacks, it's going to get tricky once there's lots of omnibuses and these recollections, like the Reign of X recollection of the Hickman stuff. But I honestly think Krakoa reads really well if you just read all the paperbacks in the order that the first issue in each paperback came out. It's one of those times that I think you can go wild and do an issue by issue reading order. I don't really think you gain anything. Having read it as it came out monthly, I don't look back and go, oh, I wish read those two flipped. I just don't think there's any benefit to be found.
No, but it's also a lot of fun. Like when you read Sabretooth and you go like, oh, so this is what was going on while this was happening.
Yeah. And again, because I think the Office did a pretty good job of having the release order make sense. So as long as you kind of look at like, okay, what came out in January? Let's make sure I get like all the paperbacks of that. Like, I think that's good. I don't think you need a single issue reading order necessarily.
And I finished with Inferno and X Lives, X Deaths of Wolverine. So that's where I'm taking my break. But then I'm going to have to, then I have nothing but trades left of like full runs. Like, is it Duggan's X-Men 1 through 4? And then there'll be Immortal X-Men and stuff. So is that what you sent me the spreadsheet on? Like how to order those books?
Yeah. Like how to read those. Like instead of going like, oh, all of Duggan's X-Men, you read the first paperback, then you skip to, I don't even remember which one, like Immortal, then Red and so forth,
Yeah.
It kind of makes more sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to definitely use that because I'm going to kick back up on Krakoa here in the next couple months or so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's natural to need a breather after having digested X Lives and Deaths of Wolverine, but just know that you have good comics by Kieran Gillen and Al Ewing waiting for you on the other side. So
I've been very happy with what I've read so far. I mean,
you liked X Lives and Deaths?
Let me finish my sentence.
Sorry, I got really
there. Yeah, I felt like there was a kernel of a good idea in there that could have been better done.
It was better done in Days of Future Past movie.
Okay. But I love Trials of X, the whole, I thought Trials of X, the entire series, there was some great stuff in there, especially Trial of Magneto by Leah Williams. I really enjoyed that a lot. And I thought Trials of X as a whole was better than Reign of X. But I really enjoyed all of Trials of X. And I felt Trials, and there were some real gems in there, like Hickman's X-Men. when they go, I think it's just a one shot when they or one issue when X-23 and Darwin and Psyche or whoever the three are that go to the Children of the Vault to gather intel, and time moves differently in the vault.
The Children of the Vault story is one of the best stories I think of the whole.
I love that. Yeah.
And it does eventually get paid off.
It does. Dugan does actually a good job with it.
Nice. Anyone mention Middle West from Scotty Young yet? I loved Middle West. I loved everything about it, but apparently Omar trashed Scotty Young on the Deadpool Evergreen
You
show.
were there.
I mean,
I wasn't
Weren't
there.
you?
No,
You were
I-
on the Deadpool
no,
show.
no.
I
Omar
couldn't-
trash. No, sarcasm. I picked Scotty Young's Deadpool run as an evergreen run because I think it's very pick upable and enjoyable in a way that a lot of Deadpool runs aren't. And Omar just like beat the living daylights out of me for picking it. And so then I was like, "So you hate Scotty Young?" And then he was like, "No, I like him."
Yeah, no, but I'll agree that it's not the strongest Deadpool run because it came after something that ended on the height of Deadpool, like emotional, taking a story to the next level, and then he just brought it back to Deadpool being goofy again. And
But
it
if you're
was
trying to
the
give a book
second-
to like a new reader, like
Yeah.
Duggan is absolutely my number one recommendation. But if you just
Yeah,
want to like
yeah,
hand
I
a trade
get
to
it.
somebody,
but that's also why I felt disappointed with it because one of my favorite things ever is Oz by Scotty Young, and it is, and maybe we went in, at least me and Omar, expecting like him to pick up some emotional vibes, and it's just goofy. And then there's one issue that has that character that he can't remember, and it just brought the whole series back up again, and then it goes back down when she doesn't appear anymore.
Well, do I have? Wait a minute. I'm not caught up on my Deadpool, but what did he only do? Scotty Young, did he only do one trade or
He did three.
three
3
15
trades?
issues?
Yeah, 3 trades. 15
Okay.
issues.
Huh. Okay. Well, I have my Deadpool elsewhere, so I'll make sure I checked it out. I liked Young's Deadpool, but I guess I'm in the minority. Not here. I'm gonna like it, and these two already like it. I'm telling you ahead of time, I'm gonna like it. Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spenceroni, Volume 2. Printing error was only 1 page.
Okay.
What page?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Chris's next 5. Ooh, Lazarus by Rucka.
My all-time favorite.
Easy to see why. Brubaker, Kill or Be Killed.
Mm-hmm.
G. Willow Wilson's Ms. Marvel. Hastings Gwenpool. Bless you, my son. I love
The
that.
better Animal Man, as I like to say.
And Faust Bad Mother.
I don't even know what that one is. This whole
Yeah,
list, I've been like, yes. What is Faust
Oh.
Bad Mother?
I
Is
have
it an adaptation of Faust by somebody named Bad Mother, or is it Bad Mother by somebody named Faust?
It's bad.
It's Krista Faust, and I have one of her books here. I can go pull Bad Mother, but Peter, it's so good. That thing screams TV movie, or HBO should option it to make a movie out of it. It's so good. The art is
with
by
Mike Diodato. I read that.
You read it? Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I like her and her minivan being like, I'm gonna fuck them up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put that in my top 15, but definitely a wow. And I feel groove back by that brief run on what is it? AWA, Writers Artisans, or whatever that brand is called.
Yeah.
Getting really like kind of dull and boring at the end of his Marvel books that he was doing in like 2017, 2018. And he kind of like found his fun again doing AWA. And now he's at DC, and I really enjoy him again. But he definitely felt like he was kind of getting a little bit rote. And I say that as somebody who's loved Diodato since he drew Wonder Woman in the 1990s. We're starting to feel like a little seen that, done that. And I think he like found the joy again on Bad Mother.
No, I agree. Like, I felt that way around his Bendis Iron Man issues.
Yeah, just kind of like, but it's, I mean, how hard, I know how hard it is not to, I repeat my damn self all the time on these streams, and I'm just here to talk, right? So like, it's really hard to not repeat yourself as an artist, turning out hundreds of pages of comic books, to repeat some of your same tropes and layouts and things.
Well, I think I'm going to show a book by Krista Faust that maybe say wow, but I have 3 books by her, and I think they are all really well written. And I think that Chris maybe has told me of another Krista Faust book that might be in my haul here. If I get to it, if I don't, that's fine. I'll just open my haul myself. I find her a very unusual and unique voice that's very compelling in everything she writes. I'm not ready to show it yet, but I will. I'll show you what I can. Booster's main WoW comic, Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Firefox Forever. This must be a Chrome comment. Here's a question for Peter. Do you think we will ever get a Mike Carey X-Men Omni or Omnis in the near future?
I think that day is approaching. I think we're getting close. They're really kind of listening to the thrum of demand from people. Plus, Mike Carey never has had complete collections. Like there's been no recollection. So you got to keep your fingers crossed that we don't see a paperback solicited, right? Because usually Marvel on any big X-Men run will go back to print within 7 or 8 years. And it has been over 7 years, well over 7 years. Actually, it's been like 10 years since we've had any of that Mike Carey stuff collected. So I'm really laying my bets that we're going to see an omnibus of it, but at the end of 2025, and hopefully not a paperback.
Yeah, I don't see that coming out as modern epics before an omnibus.
Yeah, because modern epics kind of is how they're doing paperbacks of that period at this point.
Don, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, you never know with Marvel's collection strategy what's going to suddenly become a modern epic at this point.
I feel strongly that Carey's run is so well liked that it's going to get an omnibus, and I think you're right. I think it's by the end of. I think it gets announced in early spring. I'll go on record. It's going to get announced in spring, and we'll see it by the end of 2025. I know my name is not Peter M, but there's my answer.
We'll see. But I do think like the next modern epics we'll see for X-Men will be either Brubaker or Gillen. I think they'll start there, and then they'll work their way back.
Don Pizarro, my first WoW, X-Men #1 by Claremont and Lee got me into comics. It was 1991 and I was 11 years old. Perfect time. Larry says, as I understand it, if you use an ad blocker on YouTube while logged into your YouTube creator account, they may kill your channel. I got a warning for that just before I got YouTube Premium. Wow. Well, logged into I'm always signed into my account. I don't have an ad blocker, so I always see ads.
I refuse to pay for YouTube Premium just because if there's people that I support on YouTube, I'm going directly to their Patreon or merch store or whatever. Like I'm not giving YouTube that money. But YouTube's not doing anything. They're not a TV channel. They're just a platform.
Yeah, I agree. I've been trying to avoid ads since I was a kid, where I would change the channel every time ad breaks happen.
Yeah.
Oh, this is funny. Yeah, this happened to my daughter. She works part-time in a mid-century modern furniture store, and she has Spotify on, and a similar ad to this came on with customers in the store, only it was like worse than this. She ran for the channel to turn it down. Everybody started laughing, but she was horrified.
All I'll say about that is, doesn't matter who you are, use some type of protection.
We endorse safer stacks here on Adorable Omnidog.
No, I'll say that because right now, like, there's a lot of that going on in this island. I'll keep it simple. Numbers are horrifying.
I see that I am almost an hour behind in the chat. Wow.
We've only done one WoW book each so far.
I think so.
Yeah, I've just got 2 more.
We haven't done hauls. We haven't talked about music.
You know what?
No, that's right. Ice cream,
That's
nothing.
because when you're on Omnidog's channel, it truly gives. I just put on a pot of tea. Everybody sit down. Like it all, no matter who it is and what show I tune into, it's always just like people on couches drinking tea. That's the vibe. There's no like hurry up, especially because the commenters are like such a part of the conversation here. It always just gives me coffee house vibes, which I greatly appreciate.
Well, that's one of the nicest compliments I can get. I apologize to the chat. You are the most important part of the show, and it's just a thing where I always get behind. I will get to you eventually, because perfect segue, Omnidog. That was an ad that my
was the ad
OPB
read.
ad from 45 minutes ago. So,
But you know what? I'll cheat so we have more creators on our WoW. Going back to Oz, not just Scotty Young, who I already knew before this for his Human Torch and other stuff, but this one really like went another level with his art. But his colorist, John Francis Beaulieu, I think it is Beaulieu. Beaulieu, like he's incredible. The way that he did mornings and afternoons and night in Oz is just, it's breathtaking. Like, this book is so great. Like, you can get it in 3 different digest sized books that collect two miniseries each, because there's 6 miniseries. You can still find the OHCs for fairly cheap, and as well as the regular size trade paperbacks. The Omni, I think, is going for a bit of money now, but it used to be like very, very cheap before. So it's fine.
People love, our omnibus friends love to get on and like trash, like, oh, they put out an Oz omnibus or Muppet Babies, but like Marvel tends to do pretty good books when they deign to do like a kidsy property book. And the fact that you could get them all in an omnibus, like, if you know, not only does Freddie love it, but if you've had a kid in your life and you just want to hand them something that they're going to be like, whoa, this is like hundreds of pages of Muppets. Like, my kid got that Muppets omnibus. I think I gave it to her when she was 4 or 5 and she couldn't even read it. And she just looked through the pages of the Muppets. And now to this day, I'll catch her reading it randomly, you know, because it's just great to have all that material together. And I often wish Marvel would do more kid properties, because I think they do a better job with kid properties than DC does, actually, but it's so rare. Right now, Kid Krisis is reading Strange Academy, and we cannot get her to stop talking about it. Dinner all last night was reviewing the full cast of characters of Strange Academy for an hour.
And
that's my dream.
Scotty Young.
That is my dream.
Boom Girl will get an omnibus.
Let's see. Disney stuff and Tintin are what got me into comics. The cover to the slim hardcover of Wonder Woman Jailer. Oh yeah, is a huge really wow. Cool. I know exactly what you're talking about. My library has that JLD omnibus. If I get that, it would be a 1 book haul with that much to read. Yes. Peter chiming in. JLD is one of her best stories for Diana. Yeah, Chris does have an amazing local library. He hauls every week all kinds of graphic novels. I guarantee I've never heard of any of them. And there just must be this giant graphic novel section. And his hauls are amazing.
Chris, you got to let me know what Philly burb you're in sometime. You got to DM me so I bet it's the library I've been to.
Hellions made me go, wow, that such sex appeal could be contained in an egg-shaped armor. He big fan of Nanny, Max is.
To take that character, a character any X-Men fan would roundly mock before the launch of Hellions, and make it one of the most fan favorite, beloved characters of all of Krakoa, is just like WizKid. I've always loved and thought WizKids was cool, but then, you know, Ewing made them super, super cool. But Nanny, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who thought Nanny was cool before Krakoa.
Elvis's WoW comic, Giant Days and Sunstone. Opposite sides of the fence, but I love both of those books too. Mr. Tex is here. This is I get the joke. It's from Plan 9 from Outer. Oh no, Ed Wood. It's from that movie. Peter sounds like Rocky Horror Picture Show. I need Peter to read a whole book like that. The internet debut of Tim Curry's sinister voice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard it before. I will get to go back and watch the show and see if I think it really sounds like Tim Curry. I've been doing it for like 5 years now, but
it sounded good.
It really
did that voice start because of Gillen's sassy sinister?
Yes.
Nice. Everybody's favorite. Yeah.
It started more like Tim Curry in Clue, which is my favorite movie, because I love the idea of him as this kind of like sinister manipulator, which if you know Clue makes sense. But then over time, as I thought about it, I said, really, it's Dr. Frankenfurter that I'm doing. It's not Wadsworth.
I love the X-Men 97 voice, and I love your voice, Peter. But for Gillen Sassy Sinister, I always think of him going faster.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It speaks very fast.
Yeah, and it's hard to do that really, that like Tim Curry kind of draw and do it quickly. That doesn't
we don't want to mess with the artistry that is Peter's voice.
No. I'm not messing with the voice. There's multiple Sinister clones. Like
there's different Sinisters. You need different voices for different Sinisters. Exactly. Depending. I just thought of
Krisis dramatic readings of comics coming imminently to Omnidog's vault. That would be awesome.
I have so many streams that I would love to do as like charity fundraiser streams. I want to do the 24-hour stream one time. I think that would be hilarious because I used to do that back 21 years ago. Oh my gosh. But also I think it would be funny if we did a dramatic table reading of like a famous comic. I think if we didn't put the art all on the stream and just read it, maybe it would get copyright striked. I don't know. But I think it would be funny to get everybody together and do like a table read of like the Dark Phoenix saga or something. I think would be fun.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Oddfellas Jean, of course.
I remember when the Omni Bros were going to do a certain Batman book.
Yeah. We were supposed to do a radio show of Batman Damned. We never got around to it.
Who was going to play the role of the Wang?
We actually had all our characters picked out, and that would have been epic. But we just couldn't get it together in time. The last WoW book for Forge Early was Rachel Rising. Couldn't put it down. Amazing book. Coloring is a lost art in this digital age. Is it a lost art though, Alex? I just saw, speaking of WoW, I just did a review that Jake the intern is going to help me with. Once and Future, and the coloring in this book is really wow by Julie
Bonvillain, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Julie Bonvillain.
Tamara Bonvillain. Yeah,
sorry,
Dan Mora.
Julie Bonvillain is somebody that works for my accountant. Sorry, this is Tamara. Do you think I would know? I always call her Bond villain, but Tamara Bonvillain, yeah. The coloring is so great in this book. And I feel like since I've been doing stuff with Peter that I've come to appreciate lettering more, or maybe since I've been doing very fine condition shows, I've really been stuck in with noticing the lettering, and I make a big deal out of the coloring and the lettering in this book. I feel like letterers are the unsung heroes, but I also think they're getting more credit because people are realizing how important they are.
Yeah, I really feel like 2024 is kind of turning into my year of the letterer, where I'm really a lot more tuned into the choices. I think when you first start looking at lettering, your first instinct is like, is it readable? And then when you get past that, it's like, do I like the font or like the style of the lettering, but there's so many choices that they made of like the shapes of the balloons, where to place the balloons, where to break the lines, where there's, how tight to make the letters, if they make certain words pop out more. There's so many choices involved. And I think once you like get really tuned to that, you start to realize that they're not all created equal. And then a lot of times the letterers are doing the acting for you because they're telling you what the voice would sound like,
That's a good point. I noticed it first, and I know you don't like this run. I'm one of the few that do like this run, but I noticed the lettering in this book first, and it's continued all the way through Krakoa, and that's Bendis's X-Men. I noticed the lettering really stood out to me in Bendis's X-Men. I, of course, love that run because it's got so much Emma Frost in it, but the lettering throughout all of Krakoa has sort of been that style, and I thought I really enjoyed that lettering styling. So I'm saying that right.
Bendis tends to have really good lettering, which makes me think he's a connoisseur, which wouldn't surprise me, and that he probably like really works closely with the letterer to like, because his scripts are so word oriented. So it wouldn't surprise me if Bendis has like really good relationships with letterers.
What's that?
I imagine so, because Bendis has also written a couple of books about comic writing specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's a craft guy. You know, he I'm sure he has his opinions and his favorites and all that.
100 Bullets made CNS go wow. Moonshine, I love that. Batman Broken City, Batman Flashpoint. Yeah, oh yeah. That's when I told Azzarello the Knights of Vengeance Batman story in Flashpoint was my favorite Batman story ever, which was of course right after I root beered Batman Damned. I did not bring that up. Omnidog's Vault, why you should buy the Black Hat Omnibus. Thank you, James. Black Hat Omnibus overview. Thank you, James. And this is Uncanny X-Force. Phantom X remains the only action figure I own. He's a great action figure.
I love him. He would be another guy. Well, his voice is interesting because he's French, but he's like not really French, but he pretends to be French. So there's like, we haven't gotten up to him yet, but that's going to be layers upon layers. Somebody doing a fake French accent. I have to think about that. I want to do, so the thing that made me think about this WoW thing was I finished up reading the Black Panther Blood Hunt 3-issue series, which is written by Cheryl Lynn Eaton, who I love, really fun to follow on social media, great writer. But the artist, and it was the first time that I had read a whole run by him, was Farid Karami, colored by Andrew Dahlhaus, I believe. It's actually one of my all-time favorite colorists right now. But Karami, that's the most recent wow, oh my gosh moment I had. It was reading Daredevil 5, part of Saladin Ahmed's Daredevil run. And I had read some comics illustrated by Karami previously and liked them. I went back and looked at my ratings, but never had I been inspired to be like, who is this person? I need more of them in my life. And it's the issue where Daredevil meets up with She-Hulk and they're just going all around New York eating. So a lot of the scenes are them just at having brunch, getting ice cream, having a slice of New York pizza, having this conversation, but you realize that there's something kind of deeper and more sinister going on. And to have somebody draw his She-Hulk is so evocative, great hair, so big, so captured her joy and mirth, but then also the underpinning of how she really could Hulk out at any second. And I just was stunned, speechless, who is this person? Why is this not one of these Marvel hotshot Stormbreaker whatevers? Who is he? And it turns out that he had done some other stuff, but that was one of my, oh my gosh, stop dead in my tracks staring at a page. Who is this? Who are they? I need to own more things by them? And that made me think of actually another wow that if Jess, you don't know him, I know you know this one, that somebody else who I'd read many times but didn't have that moment until I had that wow moment is Carmen Carnero on Tom Taylor's X-Men Red. Now, I know you knew her already because she did Bombshells. But I didn't really she'd never clicked with me. But when I read her first issue of X-Men Red with Tom Taylor, I'm like, this is my new favorite artist. No, I'll be taking no questions. So sometimes you just need that moment that you click with an artist and you see them on the right book with the right coloring, and so if you've never seen this artist, Farid Karami, I would say either pick up Daredevil number 5, Daredevil, the 2023 series number 5, or check out the first issue of the just completed Black Panther Blood Hunt series. Really amazing artist. We're going to see amazing things from him in the next few years. I already know.
So this is Daredevil by, who's it by?
Saladin Ahmed's writing the current run. So it's the run that started after Zdarsky.
Okay.
And the first 6 or 7 issues, they all tell a story, but they're very kind of the issues you can appreciate on their own, which we've established I like. So you can just go and read Daredevil 5. Just pull it up on Marvel Unlimited right now and read it. See how beautiful the art is. You don't have to read 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can just read issue 5.
Yeah, that's how I felt with Marco Cicchetto when he started doing Daredevil. I remember him doing Punisher, and I was blown away by Punisher. But I was equally happy that people were finally paying attention to him doing Daredevil. So yeah, it takes that one series where people actually pay attention to who is this guy, and then they go back and they're like, oh, they've done more things.
Is the trade still available for Black Hat? If I recall correctly, there were 5 trades, maybe 6 trades. I would think since the Omnibus came out, you could probably find them on the Bezos site secondhand for cheap from half price books. I sent my set to Gio last year, and he still hasn't read them yet. Jerk. But
same with Kristen. I sent her those.
Oh, you sent her Black Cat?
Yeah.
So I think the trades can be found fairly cheaply. And actually, I want to say something here. Yeah, it took a while, but just salesmanship got me to finally pick up Black Cat this week. When I did my Once and Future review, I had Barr had told me that because of the hype for the book Once and Future, she felt sort of underwhelmed for it. And I realize now that I'm kind of now part of the problem, that I'm hyping up Black Cat, and you could go into it and be underwhelmed by it because I'm so pro Black Cat. And I just realized that, as I say, I don't do any social media because I don't want to get the hype, and now I'm the problem.
You are the social media.
I am social
You are the
media.
toxic positivity you want to see in the world, Jess. You are the
Chris,
problem.
I am the problem. I hope you're okay. That sounds like All New Wolverine by Tom Taylor, which is why I wanted to check it out. That's another great book. I'll overhype that. I love that book.
Yeah, I'm seeing that Black Cat Volume 3 is the one that's hard to get.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but it's not just the 6 paperbacks. It's also Iron Cat, which is in the omnibus.
Oh, okay. Fifth of Jack. I feel like Black Cat Omnibus is a perfect character book. I enjoyed that story a lot. Yay. McKay sounds like a perfect writing for an omnibus read. Breezy and adds up to a conclusion.
100%.
I think that's right.
Totally true.
I'm waiting for his Moon Knight Omni. I know I have to decide if I'm upgrading.
The art is pretty spectacular. Talking about people, and I know I've said this in other shows, but when people are great, they deserve to be talked about, especially letterers and colorists. Rachel Rosenberg, who's been a Marvel colorist for many years, not often my favorite Marvel colorist, serviceable. She had a huge level up on Moon Knight. I'd never seen her color like that. And I noticed when she's a colorist, she has a very specific style, just not my favorite. But something about the way she does Moon Knight, you'll see it when you read the omnibus. It's going to look beautiful in omnibus. She colors Moon Knight as if he not only is white, but as if he is slightly illuminating. Like he gives off a little bit of a glow, like almost like a halogen light that's like blown out on camera. And it's so subtle. And it's not like, I mean, think about that as a colorist. She has to decide to color all the things around Moon Knight, and then she has to decide how to like blow out the area right around him, so it's just a little bit lit by him. And that's like that's why colorists are artists. They're color artists. That is not some paint by numbers shit. Like that is artistry. To figure that out, conceive of that, decide how to color that, do it consistently across a whole series. It's beautiful. Nicely said. Jason's favorite Hickman is Manhattan Projects. Love that book. Life-changing.
They're forcing me to buy the paperbacks because they still won't release the deluxe volume 3.
I know. They need to omnibize that. Come on, Hickman. Should have released it as the tie-in to the Oppenheimer movie.
Here's a spreadsheet fan, Halo Tangle. Spreadsheets are my love language. That's a t-shirt.
I might have to get that one made.
Krisis, we have the same love language. Yeah, my daughter speaks that love language well. Final 3, Days of Sand. Grand Octopus Pie, and yeah, I haven't heard of that. Meredith Grand Octopus Pie, and I Kill Giants. Love Days of Sand. I've mentioned it many times. I don't feel like I have to give my monologue again, but it's on my shelf right now. I think that's what I used for my book of the year for Very Fine Condition last year. Yeah, that's a remarkable work.
Octopus Pie got like a new release. Like there are a bunch of mismatched shaped books, but I think he got like a box set with all of them.
Jess, did you unhaul your Marvel Silver Age Omnis like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four? I did a long time ago. I think maybe even before I moved. Part of me regrets that. I may do the same thing I'm going to do with Superman and Batman Golden Age. I may get the first Omnis again just because I enjoy the stories so much. But I'm also so familiar with Spider-Man's first 100 issues. And same with Fantastic Four. I just thought there's other stuff that I need to read before I go back and get those. and I'm pretty sure we feel like they're evergreen. So
Yeah.
someday I might buy them back. But yeah, I did unhaul them.
I often feel like that about the Batman Golden Age. Like it's such a slow read, but I treasure it so much for inventing the language. And same for Superman of superhero comics, that every time I make the time to go on DC Infinite and read that early Golden Age Batman stuff, I'm just like, I do kind of think this belongs on my shelf, but it's just so many volumes and it's so much shelf space and so much money in New Zealand that I'm like, digital will have to do it for now. But I really think that's the basis of comics. Yeah, it's like a little corny and goofy and the rhythm is weird, but that's like, if you love this medium, then that's where everything came from. It was the birth of all of it.
Oh, James sent you the Trolololo song. I am going to be interested in what you think of that video and the song. It's an earworm. It will bury itself in your brain.
Well, I'll have to come on and play the Trololo song.
I also put it on the group chat.
We watched the Trololo video a few times today. Rodimus, how are you feeling? Peter's majestic hair has me feeling better already. Nice. You're helping a sick patient. I hope you're home. Oh, he's home. I know Rodimus is home, convalescing with his family. That's good.
Well, I'm talking about convalescence. I had a rough month last month, y'all. And Jess and Freddie kind of turned into my like therapy / nurse practitioner / pharmacy chat. I just asked Jess a random question one day. I was in so much pain that it was literally blinding. Like I couldn't even read comics. I was in so much pain. And Jess and Freddie just turned into my daily check-in, my wellness check for the next week. And I cannot imagine what would have turned out if I didn't have Jess and Freddie just like poking me for the week that followed that. So, like,
we were so happy to help you. I'm glad we could.
Friends are magic. Friends are good for your body and your mind and your soul. Friends are medication. Yeah.
We couldn't even be there in person. It was just chatting that we helped you. So I'm so glad for that.
Yeah, to be fair, it was 95% Jess, and I was just happy to included those 5%.
To be fair, I did originally think I was just talking to Jess, and I was like, oh, this is the group chat, so Freddie learned all of my personal details. That just made us closer.
Right.
Yeah.
As Kane would say, it's the friends we make along the way.
Exactly. Yeah. The friends help you healing is also very true. Like, I was losing my mind with what was going on with work, and I had to see my friends, and I hadn't seen them in weeks because I was so busy that I spent from 8 p.m. to 5 in the morning at someone's house. They clearly wanted me to leave, but his girlfriend kept watching Supercell with me. He was like pointing at the door. I'm like, we're watching this. It was great. And then the following day, I did something similar until he fell asleep, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave.
Well, also in that same week, Jess got me to go get acupuncture for the first time.
And you said it was helpful, right?
Who knows if I just had gone into a higher apex of pain that I was hallucinating at that point, or if the acupuncture actually helps improve things. But yeah, I actually need to go back. It's just so expensive here. It's all these things. If I won the lottery, like people talk about like buy a house or whatever, I won the lottery, I would just have a chef every day, go to therapy all the time, and get acupuncture like twice a week, like I would do all those things that you can't afford to do regularly as a normal person.
Yeah, that's it. It has been helpful to me. I was just that was a shot in the dark that I'm glad that worked out well for you.
Well, no, I have like, we won't say kink, but I love like the feeling of like needles or prickles or whatever. Like I'd probably like getting tattoos, so I know I can't start because I'd have a sleeve and my whole chest and look, like Harry Styles. And And so the guy, it's like my first acupuncture with him. He's this very serious older man, and he's giving me this talk. He's like, some people find it a little unsettling, I'll go. So I'm like, it's gonna be fine. He's like, people say that. I'm like, no, really, it's totally gonna be fine. And then because of what I was getting acupuncture for, I had acupuncture all like along my neck and my shoulder, which is like pretty close to your face, that needles wide. It's not like getting acupuncture on your foot or something. And he taps them all in, and then I lay there and do the thing. And at the end, he goes, I've never seen anyone so totally non-reacting, like you weren't stressed or tense or anything. I'm like, no, I told you I was gonna love it, and then I loved it. So yeah.
Nice.
Do you find it stressful when you get them in certain spots, or is it just like all cool?
It's not stressful, but I have found it to be a little more painful than I thought it would be.
It did hurt. I thought the needle sensation would hurt, but the thing that actually hurts is like when they really get a spot that's like really resonating with pain, it kind of like sends out a little EMP through your whole body of like, oh,
Yeah.
That I wasn't expecting. That was a surprise, but the needles didn't bother me. No.
Yeah, it has done that in the past.
Acupuncture. I get deep tissue massages, and there's a thing that he does where he like twists my leg, and oh my gosh, the pain.
But it's the pain leaving your body once he starts
Right.
working on it. Yeah.
I know it's helpful, but oh my gosh, you go through it and
So now you know what our group chat is like. Welcome to what the Second Tuesday group chat is like. It's all us being old and talking about body work that we need to have done.
And memory problems.
And memory problems, all of these things.
Like we can remember what X-Men issue impacted our whole lives and changed our trajectory, but we cannot remember if we had a cup of tea cooling in the other room.
That's what that one was about. You forgot your cup of tea?
I've been forgetting it so much.
Immortal X-Men was something that made me go, wow.
Yeah.
Jess, I can't wait until I hear what you think about Immortal.
Yeah, Max has been hyping it for a while, and I'm really excited to read it. What the heck? You guys got demonetized for Trollololo guy. He's been dead for years, and who would even have that copyrighted? I don't know. We could barely hear it too, but wow, it made an impact. I can tell you that. I regret not picking up Middle West. Any real clunkers to skip from Fall of X? I've been collecting Krakoa through trades. I don't know the answer to that. I haven't got there yet.
Well, I decided that I wasn't gonna keep reading anything by the X-Force guy,
Benjamin Percy. You and Tyler with your Benjamin Percy hate club.
I won't say hate club. I'll just say that I reached the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I'm not finishing that or Wolverine. But if you're enjoying it and Adamantium surfboards, go ahead. Power to you.
That was kind of an odd part in that book. Yeah, reading
what I had, like physically, and then I sold them immediately.
I hope it's not too late for the Manifest Destiny OHC. You hope it's not sold out? It certainly is worth getting. I kept my trades, but I love that series. I haven't caught up on it in a long time. Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone made me go, wow, it was amazing. God, it's awesome to hear, James. Oh, and here's
Gail just retweeted me talking about Age of Apocalypse this morning. I'm like, well, there's a start to my day. Gail's entire internet audience hearing my opinions on Age of Apocalypse. But yeah, Gail's X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 1. It's so nice to read somebody who understands that characters should have voices. Like, I don't always love Simone's plotting every single time. I've enjoyed many, many comics by her, but it just really felt like Rogue and Gambit in a way that I think that almost everyone other than Kelly Thompson has missed since Mike Carey. I think all writers like Rogue. I think Rogue is universally one of the favorite X-Men characters. Very, very few writers understand how to write her other than Suga. And I really think that Gail just nailed it.
Yeah.
And that's what she retweeted?
No, she retweeted me saying that I was reading Age of Apocalypse with Kid Crisis.
Oh,
She just
oh.
randomly retweets me sometimes. I don't know why.
That's so cool. Here's Peter giving his answer. The initial Fall of X miniseries are a lot stronger than people were giving them credit for at the time, but the finale of Fall of the House of X was, a choice.
Going back, Manifest Destiny Deluxe is still available, and Middle West, you can't get the Deluxe, but the complete tale in paperback is still available, plus the 3 regular paperbacks. So you can get them, just not maybe the format you'd want, but it's fine.
Good. I love Middle West.
It's
If
good.
they have not been brought up yet, says Bat Cato, I love Murder Falcon and Do a Power Bomb by DWJ. They have it all, including The Feels.
DWJ would be great in a Deadpool.
Writing Deadpool?
Writing Deadpool, yeah.
Frank chose Fight Girls from A2A was quick, fun read. I haven't read that. This is his art for Berserker Unbound is very good, but if we went back to his 90s art, I will buy it. Berserker Unbound, that's the Jeff Lemire book, or was that when we were talking about Diodato?
I think Diodato.
This was back at 9:16, which is 45 minutes ago. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Hi, AS. Jake says Green Lantern Sinestro Corps was a wow for me. Omnidog calls his shot. Right. That was the
you saying
Mike
the
Carey
omnibus. Yeah.
I will say I'll give my wow book. Art. The art was astonishingly wow. I was familiar with all the artists in this book, but I feel like they raised their game to peak levels. And then the story, Kelly Sue DeConnick did a great job with it. And that's Wonder Woman Historia. The art in this made me go, wow. I thought the story was really well done. I think Larry and I did this as a book club book, but for the mythology and the lore that Kelly Sue DeConnick writes for Wonder Woman is so interesting and so amazing. And then the art from all 3 artists is astonishing. And I just think this continues to be a wow book for me for the writing and the art. I still think this is a wow for me for all of it. And I don't think I've seen Gene Ha recently in anything. I'm a big fan, but I feel like I haven't seen much of his art. Maybe I'm not reading the right things, but I was glad to see it in this. And Nicola Scott, of course, is second to none, I think, as far as being one of my favorite artists. I'm so excited for her and Greg Rucka to get back on Black Magic.
Love Black Magic.
Yeah. This is some Nicola Scott, sorry. But that Black Magic book came out 8 years ago, and I know that Greg Rucka has been ill, so I'm hoping they can get back on it. And of course, we want Lazarus to be finished up, or at least more, at least a continuation, if it doesn't have to be finished up yet. But this
probably my favorite comic, like full stop.
Lazarus?
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you. It's one of my all-time favorites. It started off in my top 10, which has morphed into my top 18, but it was in the initial top 10. But this book made me say, wow. I was just thrown by how wonderful it was. William Lee, good evening, y'all. A comic that made me go, wow, what the comic medium can do is the sculptor, Scott McCloud. Yeah.
Another one on my shelf right here.
Oh man, I'm an hour late. Hope the stream goes on for a bit. Well, I'm just now getting.
You're in luck.
You're in luck. I'm just now getting to your comment, so it's been going on for a while. I didn't mind Krakoa. I will say though, a character I fell in love with. I think I agree with this. This was the first time to me Moira McTaggart was interesting. Hickman made her very interesting, and she's brought back. I mean, she goes through the whole thing, but then she becomes really important towards the end. And yeah, she's Moira's really well written. Krisis. Have you read Dracula Mother Effer by Alex DeCampi and Erica Henderson?
Not. That one somehow has slipped by me.
I think you dig it. I have that. That was kind of a blind buy because of the title, but I really like her writing, Alex DeCampi. I thought
I do really. Actually, I've got. Is it right? If it's right here, I want to show it. I've got this really cool book that it must be downstairs that I kickstarted from Alex DeCampi, and it's with. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'll keep looking for it while you guys talk. Maybe I'll find it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask another question. Have you read Kyle Stark's Old Head?
No, I read something by Kyle Starks, an old reader, new reader. Peacemaker Tries Hard, and so we were going. I think that was Kyle Starks, and so then we said we were going to maybe. I know Maddie really, really likes him, so we said that maybe we were going to do more Kyle Starks on old reader, new reader. So I haven't rushed to do it.
Okay, Rock Candy Mountain is great by him.
It is,
and Kill 'Em All was great
Kyle
by
Starks.
him.
Yeah,
I've liked everything I've read by him.
Yeah.
So here's a fun little special thing that I have. This is Semi-Auto Magic. It's by Alex DeCampi.
Oh, I think I have this.
Jerry Ordway on art. And this, I think it came out from Dark Horse, but this is the special Kickstarter box set. So it has the Dark Horse trade, but it then has this extra trade of other stories that didn't come out from Dark Horse.
Oh,
and
I don't have
really similar to Black Magic in terms of like theme and content, but of kind of just this normal person who's investigating magical stuff happening. But I love Jerry Ordway art so much. He is one of those classic guys that really, really still sings and works for me. And I'll really read any book with Jerry Ordway art. And I just love this. And it's I don't think it's possible to get this unless you find it on eBay somewhere, but it's a really nice, hefty. It's like as heavy as an absolute slipcase, but just for these two little trades. And I love this. I love a beautiful artifact, you know? And that's, I had to finally stop getting Kickstarter books. Semi-Auto Magic.
I have the first volume. It came out with a second volume?
Well, I think it was Kickstarter only. It was like a special little extra Kickstarter book.
Oh,
that was like the reason to back it all.
I really like that first one.
It's really good. I don't think DeCampi did anything else. I mean, I have so many cool Kickstarter things. I had to finally stop because it's so expensive to get Kickstarter here in New Zealand that because of the shipping. But like, I just love getting cool artifacts of cool art that like there's no other chance to get. It's just one of my favorite things. Here's this one. I mean, this is obscure, but it's so cool. It's called this was a wow for me. It's called Heartbreak Quadrant. This is like a super indie, like small press guy in his house doing a comic book. I don't even remember how I found it on Kickstarter. So it's square. It's a little bit smaller than a vinyl album. And it's his art. It's like kind of almost like ink lined drawing. I can't really like pen and ink. It's got this very kind of like rough inky quality to it. A lot of lines. You can see it on this page more.
Oh yeah.
But it's about these two women who are kind of just space mercenaries, and they're just out in space, and they've got this ship, and they're just flying around. It kind of would appeal to you if you liked On a Sunbeam. It kind of feels a lot like Invisible Kingdom, but there's 3 editions of it. I think you can still get it on his website. This guy's name is, what is his first name? Barrett is his name. Barrett Stanley.
And what's it called again?
Heartbreak Quadrant. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. It was just one of those things that back when I lived in the States, it was like $12 on Kickstarter. Okay, why not? And then when I got it, I was like, holy crap. And he actually sent me the second ones as review copies because he saw me talking about it. And I think it was while he was moving to New Zealand, so I didn't even get to review them. So I felt horrible about it. So now whenever I get the chance to talk about how much I love it, I always like to plug it because it was so cool.
I will definitely look it up.
Yeah, there are 3 paperbacks and they're all available.
This is Heartbreak Quadrant.
Yeah,
and I'm sure you can get them directly from him. Like, don't get them on Amazon or something. I'm sure you can buy them directly from him.
I will
Yeah.
say they're available. I'll just put it in the group chat.
Cool.
I'll just say it's a small number. Just you might, if you're interested, you might want to jump on it.
On his
Oh no, I'm
website.
gonna create a run on these books like Jess and I did with Suicide Squad. Or not Suicide Squad, Suicide Risk.
Suicide Risk, yeah.
Remember when we made everybody crazy and it sold out everywhere just because of you and me?
Yeah. I'm so glad I got those books early because one of them went way out of print. That is funny. It's funny how themes come back in cycles because of the delay in the chat, but it's still great fun anyway. I swear I'm trying my best.
But before we run out of time with Peter, I do want to see what haul you had.
Oh yeah, Jess, what's your haul? Oh, my haul?
Yeah, your haul.
Or Jess's haul?
Your haul.
I can. Why don't you show us yours and I'll start unboxing mine.
So mine wasn't a comic, but
The size of mine.
Ooh,
I
I
have
can't
a
even
lot of
hold
stuff
mine up
here.
on camera. It's here. I'll hold up one box of it.
Oh wow.
Oh.
So I love board games, and I
Yeah.
love comics. And I also love being a collector of things where I like owning a set of things. Like if you told me, like those Marvel chess sets, I know I've mentioned this on stream before, I'm the easiest mark for that. I'm like chess pieces of every Marvel character. So this is this game called Marvel United. This is an expansion, Age of Apocalypse, since we've been talking about it. But it's this game with these little chibi style figures. And it's got a really simple action economy. You can either save people, you can punch things, you can move, or you have a wild card. But then each character expresses that in different ways. Like Cyclops might be able to shoot a beam to an alternate location. Rogue might be able to borrow somebody else's special power. And so there's just one base set you can get on Amazon in the States. It's like $10. It's so cheap. And you play cooperatively with other people fighting a central villain. And if you get that base X-Men set, you could play that for days because there's like multiple villains and there's multiple X-Men in it. You can mix and match. Well, this was their third wave of doing it on Kickstarter and their theme was the multiverse. And so they did sets for Age of Apocalypse. They did a set for War of Kings.
Ooh.
Oh, my ring light is. They did a Civil War set that has a giant Goliath. I'll open this one and show you. And so it's overwhelming. At this point, I must have like 30 boxes of this. And of course, if you want to like mix and match different characters, you're like opening all these boxes to like get them out of all of them. So some people have made little cabinets so they can just go in and like pluck out the characters. So here's like a normal size Captain America.
Yeah.
That's fun.
But then compared to him, sometimes they do a big figure. So here is Goliath.
Yeah, big.
Oh yeah.
That's Bill Foster. So somewhere in here, Jess can start doing his haul, but somewhere in here, I have a Galactus. So I will find the Galactus to show you.
That
while
looks
Jess tells us
that
about
looks
his haul.
so great. So I have this box that I am opening.
Open it.
The first thing out is Adventureman, Fraction, and the Dodsons.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think that's why this box was so big, because this is oversized. And then I have a big, chunky. Wow, this is a big haul.
And who? Oh, is Adventureman a standard oversized, or is it like bigger than oversized, like gallery?
It's way bigger.
Yeah,
way
I thought I
bigger,
remember
yeah.
them being huge.
Yeah, it's like if it's a trade, this is trade paperbacks compared to it.
Oh wow, so it's bigger than an omnibus.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah.
I feel like I have the first one.
It's like library size but thinner, so it's somewhere between like a library size and a gallery edition, but it's not as big as a gallery edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to unwrap these.
Yeah, let me move some of my WoW books. I also have hauls. I don't know where to start with.
Let's see. Kryptonite Kid WoW book 8 Ball. Good choice. I've been borrowing Olympians by George O'Connor through Libby. So glad Peter recommended him during the 10 books every library should have stream. Max wants to be Rogue for a dramatic reading of X-Men.
Okay, sugar.
I'd tune into that.
I'm sure he'll nail it.
I would stay up for a 24-hour Crisis stream. I'm in Delaware County, and my local library is Marple, which allows me to have books shipped from other in the county. Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute so I don't keep making all this noise.
Oh, we are naming our WoW comics. It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth, Sex Criminals, JMS Ramita Jr., Spidey, Supergirl Birthright, Superman Birthright, Astro City, A Silent Voice, Blankets, Boom Power Rangers, Till Shattered Dimensions, Black Hammer.
I'll get this open.
There we go. Warren and I agree on one thing in the world. Although I think he might have liked Black Cat. I'm not sure. That might have been earlier.
He did.
Okay, good. We agree on two things.
Oh my goodness.
Teeny Ortiz finally getting to see this trio live. Welcome. A little late, but made it. My WoW book was Kate's God Country. Yeah.
Also a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned this, I think, in the chat when they said that, but that was the book that I read on the plane to New Zealand. That was the book that I bought myself in California to read. So God Country will always kind of hold a special place in my
wow,
yeah. Yeah.
This is a great series, and I'm so bummed it hasn't been translated into English. Castle in the Stars. I was a big proponent of that book.
Yeah.
Did they not go past number 4? I know there's another one Jess and I both love. Is there a 5 in English?
5 and 6 are in French still.
Oh,
I know. It's been since before the pandemic, and then the pandemic really slowed it up. But they've been out for a while in Europe.
The way I learned about Alex Alice, who is that artist and writer, is he did a book called, I don't think I have it in this room, called Siegfried, which was an adaptation of the Ring Cycle, which ultimately, inspired Lord of the Rings. And I had already been reading that, and I was blown away by his style. And so then when Castle in the Stars came out, I was like, well, I've got to get that too. I read French well enough that I could maybe get through it in French, but it would be slow going.
I couldn't possibly. Let's see. I got Green Lantern War Journal because this is supposed to be awesome. It was recommended, I think. Okay, good. I already bought the hardback, so this will go in a giveaway box for Birds of Prey. I bought the hardcover.
Speaking of amazing colors, Jordy Belair, oh my God.
Okay, let's look.
Should just show some from the first issue. Oh,
okay.
She does this thing where there's almost like a 3D, like an old 3D effect where the colors are a little separated at the edges. So amazing.
It is amazing.
Zealot. Oh, yes. Inject it into my veins.
Oh man, I love this.
Have you not read it yet?
No.
Oh my gosh, Jess, we might have to end the stream now. Jess, it is imperative that the script of that first issue is one of the best first issues that has been released by Marvel or DC in a decade.
Wow.
It's a perfect first issue. Perfect.
Oh, I know. I'm really excited.
And wait until you read Kelly Thompson's Harley Quinn. You are going to fall in love.
I
was so excited to see that she was including her.
And her Barda is fantastic too.
What a great group.
Barda and Cass.
So I got that already. I upgraded to the standard hardcover, so that's going to be a giveaway. And then I also got Batman and Robin, Father and Son by Joshua Williamson. I already got that in a standard hardcover, so that's a giveaway. But then I got a chunky Elseworlds Batman, which I'm very excited. They're re-releasing. They're re-releasing all these Elseworlds in big honking editions. So I'm very excited for this. And this was a blind buy just because I like the characters. Oh, Tamara Bonvillain does the colors. Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville. Yeah. I like the characters.
Very lighthearted. You like that kind of book.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Fire and Ice for me, I mean, you can tell that we've been on for a while because now I'm just like hot takes are spilling out.
Sure.
Fire and Ice for me, are the characters that define what the F have you been doing, DC? Because to me, they're like legacy characters that people enjoy, that you could do interesting things with, that are from that like Justice League International 80s, early 90s. And then starting in 2011, they just disappeared. There's like, I looked, there's like 2 comics with Fire in them from 2011 to like 2022. And when I saw that coming out, I was like, good. Finally, DC remembers they have more than like 20 characters.
I'm glad you like this. Good. I'm excited for it. The only
Smallville Drag Brunch.
So, what? Oh, Drag Brunch?
They're in front of the marquee.
Oh, they're in front of Smallville Drag Brunch. Nice. Sweet. Oh yeah, this looks like a ton of fun.
You're gonna love it. It's just very like lighthearted characters in a serious comic world being like, this is absurd. Why is the world like this? Which I think is very your vibe of books that you like. So I just unboxed the Fantastic Four Coming of Galactus, which I believe was Kickstarter exclusive. So
and this is for that board game?
Yeah, so here is Frankie Ray Nova.
Nice.
And then here is Fire Lord.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
And then for comparison, here is Galactus.
So cool. Oh my gosh, look how tiny
It's
those
like the
arrows
biggest
are.
board game thing. Well, I have also Cthulhu Wars, which is a huge board game. But yeah, he's really.
I love it. You must be so excited to have these. They're so cool.
The kids freak out because we're reading Age of Apocalypse right now. So after we get a little deeper, I'm going to bring out the box of it. She doesn't know that it exists yet, and I'm sure that will be much fun.
Let's see. Tom King, Batman, Superman Double Date, one of my all-time favorites, and the Nightmares Question issue, and the time lapse annual about Cat and Bat. Yeah, that was actually that was a tearjerker for me. That Cat and Bat time lapse annual. Yeah. Samantha Jane, love that art in Daredevil when he's slurping the noodles. That must be
and that issue I'm talking about by Farhad Krami.
Okay. Carnero did an amazing cover of Kate Bishop and Pizza Dog on the most recent Kate Bishop Hawkeye series, one of the few issues I bought an extra copy just for that cover. Neat.
Nerd buys covers.
You would never, right, Freddie?
I would never. No. I certainly don't have 3 covers for this. No.
Let's see. A book that someone on this stream talked up that I'm loving is Ryan North's Fantastic Four. Peter's been talking up, and I've been adoring North's approach to the family and storytelling style. That and freaking Runaways by Rainbow Rowell are the 2 Peter stories that I have Peter recommendations that I need to get to. I've been waiting for that issues 11 and 12 for Fantastic Four to come out because I remember how much you were just gushing over them, and I've been excited to read it. So,
well, guess what? The gushing doesn't stop there because Ryan North's Blood Hunt issues of Fantastic Four, he's one of those people that can do magic with a tie-in. And the first Blood Hunt issue, it's just Reed Richards and Alicia Masters as a team up, and it might be the best Reed Richards issue I've ever read, possibly.
Whoa. Okay.
It's so good. Ryan North just understands Fantastic Four on a fundamental level.
Awesome.
But
Max agrees. Top 4. North killing it. This guy says the same thing. Okay. Can't wait for Dazzling Dazzler Buzz. Jess and Peter, are you the same? I'm keeping my Marvel Masterworks.
Of course.
I have the Octopus Pie box set. Okay. I've got Days of Sand in my to read pile right now. I just got it from the library. That is some book. Really, really a good book. Okay, the chat is talking to each other. Crushing Krisis is talking to Samantha. Octopus Pie is a webcomic about young adults growing up in Brooklyn and has been collected in a box set. Okay. Okay, I've lost track. Bunk and Max are going back and forth with each other. Whoops, I just skipped to the end of the. Oh God, now I have to go back. How did I get to the end? Ugh.
Well, since you're at the end, I'll just say that I also love the other history of DC Universe, but I also agree with this crushing Crisis fellow about how the lettering is not the best.
In what?
In the other history of DC Universe.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
lettering is bad.
Yeah, but I love
really
it
hard to read.
regardless.
Oh, Infidel, that was amazing. Plastic, Stray Dogs, and the combined series of the One Hand and the One Hand and the Six Fingers. I think I have that.
I don't know. Is the book out yet? I thought I just saw Ram V talking about the collected edition. I actually just read it on Monday because I just sit in my car and wait for something for hours. So I just was like, I'll just read it.
That's right. It hasn't come out yet.
But
it's on my radar. Yeah. Okay. Bendis wowed me with his entire disassembled Siege run. If Miller hadn't written Civil War, I would have put that run much higher, I guess. Therapeutic oohs and ahs. This is about your
our group chat.
I think it was from you talking about deep tissue massage.
Yeah. Oh God, I recently had nerve studies on me to see if I have other crap, but thank God I only got fibromyalgia. Oh, and not MS or something terrible. Okay. Oh dear, I don't like hearing that. The Marauders book I just finished on was fantastic.
Yeah, the Dugan run's fantastic. Then Orlando starts writing it, and I also won't finish that one.
It's really hard to read. Really hard to read.
Sabretooth War as a title never not makes me giggle. Okay, that's good. The Energon Universe books are all wow so far.
Yeah,
that first issue of Cobra Commander blew me away. I'm the specific nerd that was aimed at.
One of my fave letterers of all time is Clem Robbins. He worked on many Vertigo books for many years, and this was before computers. There you are saying how much you loved Cobra Commander. Yeah.
You're getting close. We're almost to the present day. I remember saying some of these things recently.
I hope this is Kelly Sue DeConnick. I hope she gets to come back. She said there's more for that Historia story. Yay. Freddie, do you have any wow thing to show us? Or haul or something?
Me?
Yeah, you, Freddie. You're the only Freddie in the...
you want me to go half hour in my haul? I will. Okay. Let's see. I got Fatale, the complete series. And I do have the Fatale Deluxe Volume 2. Because I was foolish enough to believe that the Volume 1 was going to get reprinted. So I'll read half of this, and then that deluxe that's been waiting like 5 years for me to read.
I understand.
Let's see. Let's open this
up. As far as while you're working on that, I do have an album that I'm going to recommend to Peter. It's an ambient album. It's from wait, let me make sure. From Earth Household, Daybreak, Basements, and Broken Hearts.
Daybreak, Basements.
It's ambient, but it's very avant-garde-ish too. It's not so avant-garde that I didn't if it gets too avant-garde and it's out there, I'm not gonna. It's not for me. But this was just interesting enough for ambient sort of. I'm sure it's ambient mixed with trip hop or something, and I'm not familiar with it. But the thing that I really liked about it was that I kept playing it on the wrong speed because I listened to it and I go, oh wait, this is supposed to be on 45, and then I listened to that and I thought, what the hell? This is supposed to be on 33, and it's got these sort of lower it's like it's actually supposed to be played on 33. It actually says it on the record. Fortunately, I looked at it, but it's got on the when you play at 33, it's got these sort of humming vocals that are either sped up or really slowed down that fake you out, so it really draws you into listening to it, because you're not sure what you're listening to at first. And then upon my playing it a second and third time, I was aware of what was going on in it. And I just found it a kind of a compelling listen. I can't promise that you're going to love it, but I think that you will be interested in the production of it as far as what they were going for. I'm definitely keeping it because I found it one of the most interesting sort of ambient some genre that I'm not familiar with, but it's Earth Household, Daybreak Basements, and Broken Hearts. Oh, and the colored vinyl is really boss.
Ooh,
Yep.
Oh,
This is what I'm a sucker for. And it was good music.
that screams out there for sure.
Yes, it does. That's my vinyl recommendation to Peter. I'm still working on in my head what I could possibly suggest for Freddie. Oh, I have another one for Peter that I'm almost positive he's probably already heard of. I just got it in, but it was one of my favorite albums of the like late 80s or early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Shop Assistants. Are you familiar with them?
I am not. These are
I'm
all going directly onto my playlist.
I'm pretty sure you dig this. It's sort of like hard-edged shoegaze pop, Brit pop. If I say that right.
Is it a lady though? We know that I trend towards the riot girl and away from the gentleman in the 90s.
It's all chicks.
All chicks.
One guy.
Then I'll
One
allow
guy,
it.
3 women.
We'll allow it.
Yeah. That's why I love it so much. Yeah. I'm
Assistants.
with you on that.
I'm have it up in Spotify right now so I can get my condom ad read and then listen to it.
Good. I hope you dig it because it was one of my favorite albums back during like the early 90s or maybe even late 80s. It could have been.
Well, I have one song that if you have not heard yet, it's your job to hear this week. So since we got you into your Brat summer when we last got together, how's Brat summer going, by the way? We haven't had a chance to talk about it. That was our last stream.
It's gone great. It's been a great Brat summer for me. Pain-free Brat summer with Cycle Cleveland's video must have been the mojo that I needed because
But you listened to all of Brat?
I did, and I love 365 the most.
Yeah.
But I listened to the whole thing and dug it. And 365 has been on repeat for me. I dig it.
So while we're dragging you in the current year of music, which I sometimes miss stuff, like I listen to a lot of new music, but I don't always catch all the new pop. And when I first heard about Chappell Roan last year, I was like, nah, like I didn't really understand the context. And so I was just hearing these songs where she like kind of talks a lot or like hot to go. Like it felt like TikTok music to me. And I'm an old, even though I listen to lots of music, I didn't really get it. So then I saw Chappell Roan Tiny Desk concert and I was like, okay, I get it now. But then the song that I'm assigning you to listen to is Chappell Roan's single, Good Luck Babe. It's one of the biggest singles in the States. I'm sure you probably heard it playing somewhere already. It is a Kate Bush song. I mean, for all intents and purposes, she is doing Kate Bush in 2024. And not all the rest of her stuff sounds like that. She's very Cyndi Lauper. She's very, but with like a modern kind of feminist, queer, cutting edge to it. And there's a lot of great songs on that record. Now I love it. It's what I listen to. I know exactly how long I have to get ready is one play of The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess. But I need you to hear Good Luck Babe because it is
Good Luck Babe.
Good Luck Babe.
Okay.
It's like the top one, the Billboard top 10 in the country right now. And
Okay.
it is pure Kate Bush in the year of our Lord 2024.
I will listen to it right after this. Awesome.
Right. But no Lord.
Freddie, I assume, already has been Roan pilled and is already aware of Chappell Roan. I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only familiar with her through my BuzzFeed articles. That's how I keep up on young person music. So good. I know about her and awesome. Wait, song. That is, yeah, I know who Chapel Roan is. Okay. I don't have to write song.
Speaking of young women, Vixen, I think NYC Volume 6. This is the last one, I think.
Have you been
Oh, is that
reading
one of the
those?
webtoons?
Yeah, I've been reading these, but I just realized upon getting this that I'm missing Volume 4. So I'll be getting that later. Realm of X. Tarun
Nice.
Friend of
Oh,
the
yeah.
family, Tarun Grumback.
Yes. Venom Volume 6. Also Tarun Grumbeck and Al Ewing. Let's see. Space Mullet. Daniel
I just got that too.
What
Yeah.
is it?
It is ex-Space Marine Jonah and his co-pilot Alpheus rove the universe just trying to get by. Drawn into one crazy adventure after another, they forge a crew of misfits into a family. I believe this was like a comic that he did web exclusive at first.
It's you could only get it if you were showed up at his booth, and he sold the small like zine type things that I have a bunch of that I got from him at Heroes Con. So I'm happy to see that he turned that into a regular book.
Yeah, I think you could have read it on his website though, like going either issue by issue or page by page.
Yeah, Omnidog's not doing that.
No, I meant to do it several times, so I'm very thankful to have it. Like, difference to Peter, I'd rather read it like physically. But yeah, Dark X-Men.
I loved that.
Oh, good.
This is
Some people didn't like it. I was like, "Do you hate fun?" Like,
that's what I want to hear.
Max also really loves this one.
That's what I thought. I thought Max was the one who promoted it to me.
And it's just like, you could tell that Steve Fox has been waiting his entire life to write an X-Men comic the way any of us would. And he was like, well, if I've got 5 issues, we're doing it all. We're doing everything. And then if I get another chance later, fine. And so it's a little frenetic, but it's just like, here's somebody who has clearly had 1,000 ideas about X-Men having their turn at bat. And I find that delightful.
And I think you're the one, Peter, that hipped me to Steve Fox's writing. So I'm looking forward to reading that.
You're going to like his Spider-Woman, I bet.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also doing an X-Men 92 or 97 book.
I just finished that last night, actually, right before I went to sleep. Yeah.
How was it?
It's very cute.
Okay. Well, I have Carmilla Volume 2. This is by Amy Chu and Sue Lee. And if I remember correctly, Kristen and the other Jess were very underwhelmed by it. But I really liked the first volume. So
underwhelmed by it. Okay. At first I was thinking, oh, Kristen and Jess. Oh, underwhelmed.
Yeah. But, you know. Conan the Barbarian Volume 2 by Jim Sub. This is from
Killer.
I really dug the first one, and I have the single issue of the free comic book day, so I really dug it. So I'm looking forward to this.
I haven't read past the first one yet, but every issue in the first one for me was like 10 out of 10. Amazing.
Ooh, yeah. Good. Right, I have the first one.
Amazing colors.
Continuing my paperback Usagi collection, Space Usagi. Death and Honor.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. Oh, man.
Very nice.
And I think you bought this also, but haven't read it. Dwellings.
Yep, I have it right here. That's a Josh Greathouse recommendation.
Murder, demonology, possession, obsession.
All things I enjoy.
And done in this style.
Oh, that might be a little too cute for me. I don't know.
It's written really twisted for these characters.
Yeah, it is. It looks like what he's going for is sort of like a Peanuts, like, oh, they're all more adult than they should be, but actually it is way more adult than it should be.
Yeah, and it's got these ads in it that he does.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the spirit in which this. Yeah, here she's getting stabbed by the sock puppet. That she's got a shaving. She's got a blade in her hand. They're going after each other. What the
Nice.
heck? Oh God, I love all the ads in this. This is going to be such a fun read.
It is.
So
they are-
that made me think of actually. Well, you finish hauling, but it made me think of my one last WoW book, and then I probably have
Okay.
to get running.
Okay.
Yeah.
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
Fun.
This I got for a friend. I'll definitely read it before because I'm giving him way too many Godzilla books this year. So they're all gonna be open when he gets them. But you know,
You'll have fun reading that. I just put up a
Exactly.
review of it. It's super fun.
this is the upgrade that I did. Supergirl. I got the deluxe. Like this is such a pretty cover. Like wow, that alone makes me think it's worth it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to rereading this one. I blame you so much for. You know, I detest that I got this and enjoyed it.
It's actually really good.
I know. It's
I-
the only Kirkman book I really love.
Same.
God.
It's got heart.
Yeah. So good. And that Chris Samney art just hits.
I think Samney like made him have a heart. It was like, who's missing the heart? The Tin Man. It just like Samney like took Kirkman to the Wizard and shoved a bleeding heart into his Walking Dead chest, and all of a sudden, Firepower was like the first Kirkman book I've ever read with a heart.
Yeah. And plus the colors by Matt Wilson. Come on, this is such a great book. And finally, Two Omnis.
Ooh.
Brand New Day. This is a chunker. Volume.
How'd you get that before I got it? What?
Because I don't know. I pre-ordered it. I don't know. What
Oh,
to
you
tell
pre-ordered it. Okay, that's
Yeah.
a secret.
Freddie had a spreadsheet.
No.
I
I
believe it.
pre-ordered specifically so I don't have to do spreadsheets.
Yeah, right. Exactly. To avoid that.
Because there was a point where everything was getting delayed, and I was updating almost daily. I was like, "F this! I'm just gonna pre-order the big books from Tales of Wonder and paperbacks from the other place that is annoying." But yeah, Batman and Robin.
How thick is that? I thought I saw somebody do a picture and it looked so slim to me. I didn't expect how it shows the side. No, that's a thickie. That's pretty
Yeah.
thick. I mean, it's
75
not
bucks.
Justice League Dark, but it's thick enough.
Yeah, it has, let's see, 25 of Batman and Robin Adventures, Batman Adventures Annual 1 and 2, The Lost Years 1 through 5, and Batman and Robin Sub-Zero 1, the never reprinted adaptation of Sub-Zero movie. So,
It's
yeah.
really good. I really
it's-
like that book.
It's at least 32 issues plus a graphic novel.
Yeah. And it's for $75. So that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, and it looks really great next to the other one.
Yeah. Perfect spines.
Yes.
Whoops.
Okay, so what is your last WoW book?
So my last WoW, you guys reminded me of him. What is that crazy comic you were just both showing me?
Dwellings.
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 So with the fake ads is what made me think of it, but it was actually the last one on my list and I had forgotten, which is Local Man by Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks. So it's a indie superhero cape comic. It's by Image, and it's about this superhero who's in ostensibly a Youngblood-esque team, and that has multiple waves. Like they always come out like it's the new wave of the team, and he eventually gets kicked out or retires, and he goes back home to his small town. And there's been a couple of like hero returns home to small town books in the past few years, indie wise. Like names are escaping me. I know actually Kyle Starks did one. But this one is unique in that it is actually embedded in the Image Cape universe, or what's left of it. So it's not fully in the same world as like Invincible or Cyberforce or Savage Dragon, but it references that stuff here and there, and it totally winks at the 90s. Like the cover and even the credits page is laid out like the credits page from Image's books in the 90s. They did a Local Man gold issue that was meant to tie in with Deathmate, the Image and Valiant crossover from the 90s. But I think even if you didn't love the 90s, it's this thing that Image can get away with, very similar to Donny Cates's crossover, where like Image can pretend that it's a shared universe enough that you can tell these really unique, grounded, weird superhero stories in Image, but without kind of like messing with anybody's intellectual property in a way that you can't quite do at Marvel and DC, because then it becomes like the new grounded take on the Vision. Like it just takes on this metastasizing life of its own when you do it at DC or Marvel. But Local Man is just this individual, totally independent character. The story is just so deliciously messed up. It's definitely a mature reader's book. There's cursing, there's sex. But it's just like what happens to a washed up version of Hawkeye years after he's been kicked out of the West Coast Avengers. And it does witty things, like it has ads that are styled like classic House ads, but the character is like still talking to us as we're reading the House ads. And it's very, very funny.
Muhammad just
fun.
listed that too. Local Man and Time Before Time. Oh yeah,
That
Ahoy
list is
Comics.
impeccable, by the way. Everything on that list is a buy.
I have Wrong Earth. I love Wrong Earth.
If you love Wrong Earth, you'll love Local Man.
Oh, good. Okay, I love Ahoy Comics output. That's for sure. Awesome.
Let me show you what I was talking about earlier, Peter.
I think, Peter, are we losing you now to the care and feeding of Kid Krisis?
Yeah, Kid Krisis will be returning home soon, and I need to be prepared for that, to reap that whirlwind. So I'm so happy we got to jam on comics and a little bit of music too. We really did everything we set out to achieve, I think.
Yeah, it was a big show, and I will stay to finish up the questions and get caught up. I know that my guests are the big draw, and they should be, but I will finish up with what I can with the chat, because I love the chat. And Peter, Crushing Krisis, the description is down below in my description box, a link for his amazing site. Please go there and be amazed, because Peter is one of the gifts of comic books. He is a gift himself to the world of comic books. There you go. I said it.
Well, I'm very, very happy to spend time with my friends and therapists here, Omnidog and Freddie. And as I said, next week, Crushing Krisis celebrates 24 years in publication and 14 years of Crushing Comics. And so I'm in the midst of heavy labor of updating all of my Marvel guides. I've been looking for some new Marvel collections. They will be reflected on the site over the course of the next week. So thank you so much for having me. We'll be back. I'll be back next month, the second Tuesday. This one was a little delayed, but next month, second Tuesday, we'll be back to jam on some comics and more.
Yeah, and
nice. Look forward to it. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Love Wrong Earth, Time Before Time. Okay, Krisis is still with us here. Omnibo, I don't know about North's FF. It seems to be heaps of one-shots with nothing really going on so far. Plus, I get sick if Alicia calling Ben babe every sentence. Oh, well, Peter loves it, and I've heard lots of people love it. So Peter's responding. Peter's still here. Okay, good. In saying that, I have enjoyed it. Halo Tangle, enjoying the Energon universe. Yeah, I hope he likes this. It's pretty odd, but it was just my speed. Oh, you have shop assistants. Good, Cage. I'm glad.
Cage is a fan, apparently.
Yeah, awesome. Bragg Summer, Cycle Cleveland Joint. Everybody needs to go there and see the amazing video that Cycle Cleveland made for Bragg Summer. Early 80s shop assistant music. Okay, that's what I thought. I remember having that a long time ago. Roan, Chaperone. Okay, that would be towards Crushing Krisis. Okay. I hate Invincible. I haven't finished Invincible. I'm sure I will. I keep hitting a roadblock with Invincible. I go through the first 3 books like 3 times, and I just haven't gone past that. I'm sure I'll love it, but I've really disliked everything else that Kirkman's done. But Firepower is super fun.
I should say that I do love the show, but I started reading the comic and I just couldn't connect.
With Invincible?
Yeah, with the comic, but the show immediately, you get hooked.
Oh yeah, Chris, that's right. She Could Fly by Christopher Cantwell. Love that book. Good choice. That is a wow.
Do you have more WoW books, Jess?
I really don't. I just
Oh.
picked those two.
Well, I had more. Like I showed Ultimate Thought because I couldn't find the omnibus of Miles, but Sarah Pichelli and Justin Ponser. Like, wow, this was a fantastic time. And then David Marquez joins in, like finishes that run. Amazing. You were showing links.
Yeah, for Peter. Yeah, there's actually we're almost caught up because Peter just Halo Tang is going to go read some comics. Good choice.
Nice.
Since they're all coffeeed up. Good. People are saying goodbye to Krisis. Adorable Brent Hogan. Hey, Jess, glad to finally meet you at book club on Sunday. I'm not sold on the North FF yet either. I'm going to have to read it myself and report back. It was good to meet you too. Up, here it is. Wasn't expecting a Jess and Freddie stream tonight. The last of the comments.
Nice.
So we caught up and we did cover everything.
We did. It was surprising.
Comics, albums, hauls, board games. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we could do it. I have a feeling the second Tuesday of next month, it's probably going to be the third Tuesday for me again, but I'll check my calendar and get back to you guys. It's 11:15. I got to wind down so I can go to bed by 3 a.m. These things get me all jacked up with excitement and fun.
That's true.
So, Freddie, thank you for being on with me. This was great. It was always great to see Peter. And thank you to the chat so much. You guys, I appreciate your patience. I know it takes me a long time to catch up, but I appreciate everybody's patience and hanging in there. And we'll be back again next month with Gamming on Comics. There's Freddie's IG. Oh, and Freddie's Twitter. Wait, Freddie's Twitter. Greed ignored.
Yeah, you can follow it, I guess, but don't.
And my Discord. Yes, everybody join my Discord. We have a lot of fun there. And I will use my theme song to play us out. Thank you all so much for being here. This was a ton of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. I did too. Peace and love. Peace and love.